Sorry, mate. Welcome, viewers. Last two races, 2020 JJ Giltinan heats 8 and 9. Series leader Honda Marine with a 4-point lead over winning group. And barring major accidents, they're the only two boats for the chance of winning. Third and fourth overall, Shaw and Partners and Smeg, third, fourth, separated by 1 point, followed by Tech 2 and then Finport, Bird and Bear, Yandu, Euro, MC Tech making up the top 10. Beautiful, shiny nor'easter. Troy Tyndall in the park. Troy, welcome. What have you got for us?
Yeah, thanks, Bucko. Mate, beautiful breeze just come in the last 10 minutes. Everyone here on the big rig today, no one on the small rig. We've got one boat that is not going to be sailing today. That's the Vintech, which you would have seen yesterday coming into the finish line, broke their rudder. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to repair that overnight. We have a few battles going on, obviously first and second, the big one. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Behind me here, we've got Smeg and Shaw and Partners, and we're going to have a chat with those guys shortly. They're in a battle, 1 point between them for third position, so the back of the podium.
And Tech 2 sniffing the three red boats in a little bunch, right?
Yeah, a little bit further back. I mean, they're sort of 6 points behind the fourth position, so you know they know they're just all they can do really is win the races today and hope everything goes the other way.
Yep.
For them, Bird and Bear, Yandu, big battle on there, both of them on 50 points. And then we've got Marcus Jones behind them in ninth position, and he's got 8 boats within. So there's a real battle on just for the back end of the top 10, which we know, a lot of people have that in their sights to get the top 10 in the JJs for this week. So some really exciting battles going on today, and we're going to get round the park and talk to a few of them.
Yeah, great stuff, Troy. For the viewers, the weather synopsis, we've just seen the beginnings of evolution to a weak sea breeze. High pressure cell out in the Tasman Sea and ridging in across the north coast of New South Wales. So the gradient's northwest, pretty warm in Sydney today, about 28, 29 degrees, and warmer out in the west. So not expectations of a great amount of wind, some divergence, but kind of consensus view is, I suppose, 10 to 12 knots of nor'east by the time we stop racing. Hence, everybody on the big rig. And I did actually speak with the winning guys who were cooling off in the shade, and Mr. Badham, the prime authority on his matters, had told them expect 12 knots sort of by 4 o'clock, and perhaps a little more after that, and we probably will be out there till after 4, so might get a little bit uprange, but it won't get anything like it was yesterday, which reached perhaps 18 knots towards the end. Troy, what do you got there?
Mate, I'm just going to talk with James Doran. He's just been behind the back of his boat getting dressed, so we just let him do that instead of putting that live. Dozza,
Hey.
Third position overall right now, mate.
Hanging on.
You got Mika hot on your heels.
He is, yes. And
Be-
I think we've got it's the battle for first and third today, I think.
Yeah, well, first and third?
Well, the top two guys are battling out, aren't they? And then
absolutely.
basically the third, fourth, fifth are battling out third.
We're on the same page now.
They're the two races to watch today.
And obviously, if you have a real bad one, Tech 2 is also
In the
in
mix.
the back, so only 6 points, 7 points behind you.
Yeah,
Six
well,
behind.
it's light out there, anything can happen today. So we don't mind the light stuff, but yeah, we should be interesting racing today.
So we've got Mika Lane here too, the skipper of the Smeg. Smeg's the sponsor of the day. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Meg. Great sponsor. Thank you very much.
And Mika, we're just talking to Dozza. He says he's got no problems at holding you at bay today. Any comeback?
What do you mean at bay? Just beating us?
Oh yeah, exactly. He just wants that third position. He said it would be a walk in the park for him.
Yeah, it probably will be. We're not that big a fan of the light weather, so we'll just let him have it.
So Mika's going to let you have it. That's nice, mate. You can go and inscribe your name in the back of the trophy now.
Yeah, thanks, Mika. That's really nice. Look, I think it's all talk. Mika's all talk, and I'm sure he'll be hard at us today. And Tech 2 obviously chomping at the bit too. They're sort of on the fringe of the top three. But if we sort of battle it out in the first one and let them stretch out and win one, well, it makes it interesting for the last one today. So. Yeah, there's a bit to think about. We'll obviously just try and go out there and get a good clear start, get up that first work and get away, and hopefully Mika's nowhere to be seen.
And Mika, we have seen you at the starts, well, a little bit further back than probably people like to start a yacht race, but then you come through the fleet quite well. Have you been meditating or thinking about that overnight, about how you're going to get off 2 races today?
No, to tell you the truth, we have no idea how to get a good clean start. We've tried all week. We've only nailed one, and that was close to being over, I think. So we'll just hope for a bit of luck. And yeah, exactly. Hopefully the boat can pull us through the rest of the race if we have another bad start, as it's looking likely.
Do you listen to your bowman at all, calling you to the line on those, or?
He doesn't say much.
Yeah. He's a pretty quiet guy.
Yeah, he's a quiet
Perfect.
guy. It's either yelling or nothing.
Okay, perfect. All right, well, good luck to you both. May the best man get on the back of the podium today.
That's it. Thank you, boys, and good luck, Mika.
Yeah, good luck. Dora?
It's all on.
See you.
Good on you. All right, boys. Well, I don't know who my money's on. Good friends with them both, and you can just see there's this friendly sort of nature throughout the park. Everyone rips into everybody a little bit, and the best man is going to win. We were going to have a chat with Honda, but like we've seen all week, they're the first on the water, and they get straight into it. You can just see them over the rock wall here, lifting the boat right out for one reason or another. Just don't want it to touch down on the bottom of Double Bay here, in our beautiful sandy beach. We'll walk back up here. We'll get a quick chat with the winning group before they disappear. See if they've got anything to play, any tricks they're going to play. 4 points they are, so they really need to get 2 wins and hope that Honda have a couple of shocker of a races. But as we've seen, very hard. Their worst finish for the Honda is a 4th position, which we saw in the last race yesterday. They're just sailing in a different level right now, so we'll quickly grab these guys before they head out. Where's the Babinator?
He's incognito already.
Here he is. Babinator. We'll get a quick word, mate. It's all right, mate. They're not going anywhere. So we've got Scott Babbage here. He's just a late call up into this regatta. Sailed himself. Sevy's still struggling to get the boat up. Sam's got the hard job getting it over here. Babs, you've been in this position before, bridesmaid a few times. What do you think you're going to pull out today to try and beat these guys?
It's going to be pretty hard. They sail pretty well, so I think we've got to watch the pole.
You're all good.
We've got one boat between us each race. If we win, we should be good, but that's not going to be easy. So I think it's on everyone else to perform.
Good work, Babs. we'll leave it to it. He's on a beam reach here, trying to get the boat into the park. Sevy's not giving him any help because he's just got it a little bit lighter. You're sheeting it on there, Sevy, to help you out.
Oh, I'm just relaxing.
Sevy, you're in second position. I'm sure you'd like to be a little bit closer to these guys, but have you got anything that you think you can play out and beat them today?
What do you got for us, Kate? You told us yesterday. What did we fuck up
You've got to
yesterday?
get a little bit more aggressive, mate. You had a chance.
All right, more aggressive
More
today.
aggressive. Sevy's getting a little bit soft in his old age, but hopefully today he's got something for the great nation of New Zealand. Battle of the Anzacs, Bledisloe Cup to finish it off, but as per normal, the All Blacks are leading, and Wallabies nowhere to be seen. We'll try and catch up with Marcus Jones quickly, if he's around. Maybe not. We'll get Woody again. We've had a good chat with Woody most of the time. Woody, it's between you and the Bird and Bear, both on 50 points, mate.
Getting a lot closer to where we're supposed to be in this regatta.
Back down to... Well, you got 12 points. 12.
We might just achieve it.
I think you'll be just fine. And if you go pretty aggressive today, you might even get the Bird and Bear back.
Yeah, well, if we can get out of the blocks, that's all. I think everybody's very similar speed, really. It's a matter if you can just manage to get that little break at the start, the one puff when you really need it, and just break yourself clear. And if you're in the money at the first mark, unless something drastically goes wrong,
and we'll just
be able to stay there.
Good on you, Woody. We'll just chat with Berger. We'll pan back here. Berger, between these two guys, they've got about 120 years of experience between you both. So that's
sure about that.
Yeah,
I think you might be dyslexic. I'm only 25. I'm only 25.
No, you're 53. It's not 35.
How did this happen?
I know. The ages have just
Don't tell me.
Years have slipped by quickly, Berger.
I know.
But
It's a blur.
you guys have obviously been sailing together for a lot of years now.
Yep. And I think Woody's experience puts us in the right place all the time, his consistency, so it's been awesome to sail together, and to get Fang on, it's been fantastic. The tactical sort of step up that we needed.
And it's not like you guys are here making up the numbers, you know, you've probably got another 5 years left in it. What do you reckon, Woody?
I'm sort of like to get to 70 if I can.
Well, there we go.
But how do you know?
I'm there all the way, Woody.
There we go. Well, there's the commitment, guys. So, and they'll keep Fang hopefully coming back for a few more, and you know you're going to be well inside the top 10, Woody, if you have another solid day. So, mate, I've got my confidence is in you. You're looking, you got the pep in your step. All right, Marcus. Quick chat, mate. So we got Marcus Ashley Jones, United Resource Management, mate. You're in, I think it's 9th position, but you've got 8 boats, within 10 points, and you're the leader of the bunch.
Well, we've got everything to lose and nothing to gain, it sounds like.
And, you know, you've sort of been there or thereabouts this week.
Yeah. Oh, I had
thoughts on the week?
Yeah, got taken out yesterday, which is a bit of a shame, so we did not finish. But, you know, just it's a typical JJ. You just got to stay consistent the whole way through.
And talk us about being taken out. What was that? I didn't quite see it.
Sean Langman didn't see us at the bottom mark and collected us nicely. Yeah.
And was there a problem? I think there was this trawl before that. I saw that part, but
yeah, we're a little slow coming into the mark, but yeah, you know how it is.
all right, good on you, mate. We'll leave you with it. We'll walk back this way, Christoph, so we don't lose our receptione.
So Troy, just for the viewers, we should perhaps explain that the mighty bowman on the mighty Yandu, Mike Kennedy, is not 72 years old, or 67. He's a very fit-looking 40, correct?
Yep, well, we're going to grab Matty Stender here, show his abdominal muscles off to the ladies at home. Mate, you're in the mix. You guys are on your own. Bit of a sail today. You know, you've got 6 points to the boat in front and 7 for the boat behind. Or
7 and 8.
Eight. So you're a bit on your own, but you got to have a reasonable day. And if Tech 2 have a bad one, you can probably get a spot back there. But if you guys have a bad one, you'll be back in the mix with Bird and Bear and Yandu.
Yeah, so all it is today is just getting around, have a clean race. If we can make some good spots up, we will. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Just got to get out there and have a good day. really.
Well, you do. That's true. They're on most days out sailing. So we'll leave you with it.
Thanks.
All right. So, boys, everyone's slowly getting in. Jacko, you're on the fringes. We'll have a quick chat with Jack. Mate, you're a little bit on your own. You've got to hope that a little bit of Stephen Bradbury happens in front of you to get on the podium.
It's happened before.
It has happened before. I haven't for him. And, mate, but, you've slowly been getting it sorted. You had a second and a seventh yesterday. You'd be pretty comfortable with the second, right?
Yeah, it's been a tough week for us, particularly the second and third day, but, we're happy. We're here to compete hard today and see if we can jump up a couple of places. But, yeah, wait and see.
And Tech 2, they've come on board with you guys this year as a sponsor.
Yep.
You've got a relationship with them. Just talk us through that.
Well, Glenn was with us with the Superfoiler, and we developed a good relationship and a friendship outside of work. And so late last year I said to him, it'd be a shame to lose your foothold on the harbour and on the water and your association with the water, so why don't we do this? And within 20 minutes it was done.
Great.
So really happy to be here.
And then you've brought on Pat Langley with Vycobi as well.
And Paddy's the same. I worked with him years ago when he was with another brand, and when I found out that he had this, it was a no-brainer. So I gave Paddy a call, and the Vycobi stuff is phenomenal. Look at me, I look beautiful.
Yeah, you do. Well, you do anyway, out of the gear. So, mate, we were talking with Coco yesterday, Michael Coxon, about your sails and how they've got the grey scrim on them. That was a sponsor decision?
Yeah, well, we were meant to paint the sails all red, and because of the amount of weight that it adds, I convinced Glenn from Tech 2 not to do it if we want to win.
Yep.
And so he was on board with that. So they're actually, the grey's slightly heavier than the black, but it's only marginal. So, but yeah, no, this rig's the same as the Honda rig basically. It's identical luff round and everything.
Same mast as well.
Same mast. So yeah, so you can see it's working. We just got to go the right way.
Well done. Thanks. Keep it going. Tech 2, they're just getting ready to head on out. So we'll just try and. See if I can get Aaron. We'll go way over the back, see if you guys can hold us. Aaron, he's probably in the Aaron Everett on the Oak Double Bay. We're going to have a good chat with him. He's in the. You still got us there, guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
So and Troy just mentioned the battle of the brothers, Charlie Gundy and.
All right.
And
so, mate. I reckon you're actually in the right spot today. You're at the back of a big pack, about 8 boats. So you got a lot of, have a good day and you can make a lot of spots up the order, but you're obviously deeper in the fleet than you might have liked.
Yeah, I think we've only gone backwards since I last spoke to you, so hopefully this flips it on its head. Yeah, but like you said, I think there's 10 points between us and top 10. Yeah. So just got to relax into it. Yeah.
2 bullets, your high chance of getting in there, mate.
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, we had a good feed last night, and hopefully the carb loading will come through today.
Perfect. And you want to say anything about your crew this week? How good they've been?
Yeah, outstanding as usual. There's Charlie there. He's new to the crew this season, so he's been a breath of fresh air, and Corny's solid as usual, which is great. But yeah, I mean, as everyone knows, it's a long regatta, and fatigue starts kicking, especially with these 3 days in a row with short, sharp races. So I think it's just maintaining the intensity as long as you can. But the boys been good.
Charlie, just come on over here. Let's have a quick chat with you about your brother. He's a few points ahead. Thinking maybe you can take him out on the start line today?
That's the plan, yeah. I tried last night when he was going to bed, tried to give the old kneecap, but didn't quite get in there. But yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal.
That's a good goal. Nice little tactic too, fixing it up off the race course. Few people back in Bucko's day used to fix it up in the car park. A little bit of a scrap. We've got Brett Van Munster and his team of appliances online just going in behind us here. Good shot of them. Brett's in the middle of that, well, just behind the Oak Double Bay. But good day from them. We'll pull them back up towards the back of the top, or the front of the, I suppose they probably won't make it in the top 10, but they'll be just outside that. And he's already just about to have a bit of a crash with the Birkenhead Point. These boys, they've had a bit of a tougher week. Nothing inside the top 10 yet, so maybe they can finish this regatta quite strongly. We've got the last of the boats going in. Finport, no one in a major hurry to get in. Breeze just slowly building. Honda got out probably 15 minutes ago now. They're going to spend the most time out there on the water. They'll know the most about the conditions. winning group went in shortly after them. And, you know, that's why people were at the front of the fleet. They get out there, they do a bit of sailing, they work it all out, they do the preparation. It's got the ferry, you can see, trying to navigate its way out around our sponsor of the day, Smeg. Kitchen Maker, the other sponsor of the second race today, already out there. They had a mainsail repair they had to do overnight and spinnaker repair after collecting the Vintec just before the finish line yesterday. And Vintec, unfortunately, with that broken rudder that led to that accident, not making it back out here today.
Yeah, it was a bit disappointing for both those guys right in the last 150 feet of the race, wasn't it?
Yeah, correct. So we might head out towards you, Bucko.
Yep.
And then we can have a chat out on the water watching these guys go out.
Okay, that's all good. Thanks, Troy. That was terrific from the park. And you did note that I was actually sitting inside the clubhouse in the air conditioning with Sevi and Sam Newton. They were looking pretty relaxed, I can tell you, but they were basically, as you've noted, by the end of this regatta, hiding from the sun. I think it'd be the operative phrase. A bit of hydration, a bit more information coming from a couple of sources, and a bit of hiding from the sun, which is a bit of a problem if you sail these things 10 days in a row. All good. So, Trev's the breeze building. Mark, we look like we're going to start on time. The breeze going to be probably, we think, a soft version of yesterday.
Yes, there's been a little bit of talk earlier on about whether or not there'd be actually a delay to the start. A little conversation with the starters about maybe put up an AP, hold the fleet on shore. But in the end, just enough of this breeze forming up in the far end of Sydney Harbour, and a very strong confidence level that it's going to filter its way down. And it's pretty much already done that now. Pretty much saleable conditions. Half an hour or so ago, it's pretty much flat calm on Sydney Harbour, all very still. But a little bit of breeze trickling down here. We are good to go. We're going to be starting on time at the moment. Looks good for the 2:45 start time. 2 races, remember. Today is the final day of the regatta, whatever happens, and intriguing battles all through the fleet. One of the ones we haven't talked about yet, Bucko, is the battle between the 2 Noakes boats. Just 2 points between Yvette Heritage on Noakes Blue, and she, of course, sails with Rory Hunter and Oliver Scott Mackey. Just 2 points ahead of her boss, sponsor, and someone she'd probably like to beat but probably thinks she shouldn't, is Sean, who sails, of course, with Ed Powers and Nathan Edwards. Noakes did have that capsize and port starboard incident with Tech 2. I know they're seeking redress.
Yeah.
I don't know where he's got to with that. I don't think it's been heard yet. But if he doesn't get redress, and my guess is he probably won't, but we'll get to that later, then the points stay as they are now. Just 2 points between the 2 Noakes boats. So, Bucko, battles throughout the fleet. We'll get resolved this afternoon.
It's fantastic, isn't it? And the protest will be heard this evening at 5 o'clock, or directly after this, as soon as possible after the conclusion of racing today. So, looking upwind, Jimmy, they open the door at the Manly Six Club and let the nor'easter down the Corso.
There's not many people on the Corso, Bucko.
No, I know.
So it's
a wind tunnel. A wind tunnel.
The big wind tunnel's free to operate.
Yeah, but and you know, those of us who've sailed in Sydney Harbour for a long time, this is not unfamiliar territory for this time of year. Norwesterly gradient, just bending the breeze left and keeping it soft. No convection in the western suburbs, and that's why the breeze won't build particularly like it did yesterday. A little bit unusual, the high pressure cell to the north of Sydney, which is extraordinary.
Yeah, it is. For this time of year, it's unusual. We're looking at Double Bay there. Well, let's have a look upwind. There you go. That's the view we've got from the camera cat. We're still in Double Bay ourselves as the fleet makes their way out. As you look upwind, everybody is sailing pretty comfortably. 2 to 3 wiring. Looks like 3 wiring right at the top.
Yeah.
So big rigs, maximum power required for probably the first race, and possibly, we'll wait and see, but we're expecting close to 10 knots. Maybe even 12 is the rumour for the second race today, and those, of course, will be races 8 and 9. We're going to end up with a 9-race series, and Jimmy, didn't always look that way with the series, did it, for one reason or another, but it looks like we'll get 9 races in, get the discard in. It's a fully grown series.
Look, I think they were always going to try and push for the 9. There was no 2 ways about it. It was just how they were going to get it done, and I think the committee's done the right thing and just compressed it to get it done as quick as possible. And yeah, like it's going to be great. At least there's going to be no questions asked about. Yeah, if we had 9 races, I would have been there. And the other thing too, like, you know, got Keegan there on screen. I know yesterday at the briefing he was jumping up and down that he signed up to do 5 long courses for short courses, and it was pretty much so. Yeah, that was his argument. But at the end of the day, at least these guys are getting the 9 races in, and that's what's important.
Yeah. I mean, Jimmy, it does change the nature of the contest in some degree. The winner won't change probably, but it does change, you know, what the guys are prepared for and what they've come for to some degree. So
yeah, it's a strange argument, isn't it, Bucko? Really, what do they come for? They came to sail against the best skiffs in the world in Sydney Harbour. They've got that. The length of the racecourse is the variable. That is one of the beauties of this brilliant sport we're part of. It's all full of variables, and you never know what the race's course is going to be. So I think we'll put that down to a bit of personal preference and small brain fade from Keegan York, who's having an okay regatta. He's not bad in the overalls. He's, I think, lying in 6th place at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place, 7th place actually. But we've talked about him throughout the year as a potentially on the podium for the JJ. Hasn't happened for him on this series. Bucko, what's your view? What's not quite worked on Finport this year?
I just not enough time on the water.
Same old excuse.
Pretty straightforward.
Yep.
You know.
His crew's been off sailing everything else other than the 18-foot skiff, and you can't just jump in these, right, Bucko?
Maddie Stenner and Angus both sailed 16-footer nationals, and both had been sailing Mekotiki 38s, which is a well-paid job for both those boys. And I'm not privy to the fine detail of the arrangements in relation to this boat, Finport, but clearly the Macca 38 owners got enough economic resources to make it highly worthwhile for them, and so their 18-footer sailing has suffered a little.
Yep, got to get closer. So, boys, you got me there? So we're just coming out here. Van Munster, Appliance Online.
How are you?
Good, buddy. Mate, you're a little bit further down the pack than we probably thought we would have seen you. You've got a little cut to your head already. Going to be a better day from you, guys?
I hope so. We've just been struggling all week a little bit, just been on the wrong side of a few things, but very lucky to have some really good guys fill in for Kurt, who obviously got injured last week.
And boys, Brett builds all these beautiful boats that we're seeing out here. He's had a pretty big workload. How many new boats was it, Brett, in the last season?
There's 2 new boats last season.
2 new boats, so Bird and Bear. Bird and Bear, and who was the other one?
Tech 2.
Tech 2, there we go. So here they are, the boys. We'll pan back, get a beautiful shot of Appliance Online, the winning group, sister ship, good sponsors, making sure this fleet carries on, and big week for Appliance Online. That's why we've seen the skipper change on board winning group. John Winning taking priority, his business taking priority over the sailing, but hopefully he'll be back out on the harbour as soon as possible. We're just going to go forward a bit more here, Noddy, and we'll go and have a look at the URM. We haven't seen too much of them this week apart from in accidents, but hopefully we can see a strong result. As we said, they're right at the front of this battle for the back of the top 10, and they've got 8 boats hot on their heels. URM, new sponsor into the sport. I had the pleasure of sailing with them to Hobart this year with Marcus and Tommy Clout, who is the skipper of Bird and Bear. Boys just getting tuned up. Marcus, any final words?
Just a magnificent day on Sydney Harbour, Troy. This is as good as it gets, mate.
There we go. Pretty happy with it. So, boys, it is. He's right. It is a beautiful day. Flat water, about 8 knots. Probably going to get a slight little increase of that. We've got the committee boat a little bit further in towards Point Piper. It's a beautiful property there. We're looking right over the race course. Probably won't be as long a beats today. We'll start heading over to the race committee and we'll try and get a little word on what they're thinking there. We've got the Queenslanders here. Great to see our mates from the other state coming down. They've been slowly improving as the week goes on.
So Troy, just while we're going over to the mini boat, if we had a prize for the worst starters in this regatta, who would you give it to?
Oh, mate, that's a bit rough.
Oh, come on, no. I mean, you know, take the point that Mika Lane confessed to not being able to start.
Yeah, look, Mika would probably put his hand up to take that award, so
Yeah,
I can just give it to him. And since his sponsor is the sponsor today, Smeg, we'll just mention them a couple more times. But, you know, Mika, he's got a really cool, calm, collected nature.
He has.
And he manages to just, you know, keep his head down. He's obviously very good on the stick. And he's got a good bunch of boys around him. Ricky Bridge, he's no stranger to these boats. And Peter Harris.
Yeah, no,
both of them have been around for years.
And both spent plenty of time on the podium too, just note that.
Exactly. So we've got 1.2 nautical mile, a little bit, 0.2 of a nautical mile less than yesterday. Course at 020. We'll try and get in here and we got any signals? Can we have a quick chat?
682 is up and down twice.
Up and down twice. Starting on schedule. There we go, boys. Perfect. No delays anticipated. Setting the line as we are. A little bit further down towards Point Piper today.
Yes, and the top mark is about 1.2 nautical miles to windward, which would give us around about a 45-minute race.
45-minute race, boys. I don't know if you can hear that as the target. Course just a little bit less. We'll try and head over and see if we can pick up someone else.
Yeah, the mark a little to the left of yesterday, and the lighter air compensating for the shorter course length. So
We'll head up and try and intercept Yvette here on the Noakes Blue through here, Noddy, and maybe even the Honda.
So
try and
Troy-
go to Honda first.
Troy, we owe Noakes Blue a little apology from yesterday as well when we get to them.
You guys, or?
I do.
Okay. Well, glad we cleared that up. I haven't done anything wrong. So we'll just head over to the Kiwis. Got a 4-point narrow margin, really. I mean, you know, in a really tough fleet, I think that would be a little bit of a narrow margin. In this fleet, these guys just seem to lock in some good results. But, you know, if they get 2/3 and a winning group win both races, she's all off. So, boys, you get off the dock very nice and early. We've got the Bledisloe Cup, All Blacks versus the Wallabies today. The All Blacks are in a leading position as per normal. Anything you've been out here before the start doing?
Just trying to get a handle on the wind.
Yeah. Here we go. They're in the zone, these boys. Beautiful day on Sydney Harbour. I can't quite get there. Just social isolating. Distancing anyway. We'll go over and give a look at the event. Maybe, Bucko, you can translate the apology to me and I'll give it to her for you.
Yeah, no, you can just tell her that we attributed good job angle picking only to Honda yesterday and said none of the Australian boats. I was gently corrected by Yvette. She said she laid into the bottom mark pretty neatly all 4 times.
There we
And
go.
if
We'll
you
just
watch
let them
it-
turn up into the wind here.
If you watch the tape, that is indeed correct.
Okay. There we go. It's going to be all on here, boys. But okay, now come down. Perfect. Beautiful. So Yvette, no, you're right. There we go. Yvette, Andrew, the great Andrew Buckland, he just sent an apology to you, not letting you. You know, he said Honda was the only one who set into did one jibe and into the bottom mark. You guys obviously nailed it as well. You've got your boss just in front of you today, Sean. You planning on taking him out before the start?
Well, yeah, we'll obviously try to. Oh, no, not try to take him out, but try to beat him. Yeah, look, there's probably about 6 or 7 boats that are all really close in the point score. So any of those boats we'd really like to beat.
All right, boys, we're just going to capsize her here, so we'll go forward. She's right. She's right in the mix, boys, and we've really seen her and her team do a fantastic job this week. We'll just bring up the points.
And Troy, I was going to just mention that if you graph their results, they're steadily improving.
Mate.
The same cannot exactly be said for Noakes Sailing, Sean and Ed Powys and Nathan Edwards. So,
I mean, they're right in this battle. They're only 2 points off Marcus Ashley Jones, who we've discussed on URM in 8th position. I think it is 9th position. So 9th URM, 10th Sea-Tech, 11th Noakes Blue, 12th the Kitchen Maker, 13th Noakes Sailing, 14th Rag and Famish Hotel, 15th Merce Line, and 16th the Oak Double Bay, all within 10 points. I love that battle. I'd love to see Noakes Blue and Yvette carry on their way and bring it into the back end of this top 10.
Well, I mean, they haven't only had 2 single-figure races, but they've been near the lead a number of times. But I think, and I had a discussion with Yvette last night, and she did say that in this week, like in 8 days, 8 races, she feels like they've improved quite a bit just in the duration of this regatta. So, you know, more sailing would be good.
Yeah. I think everyone's slightly improved. We've seen these guys behind me here, the winning group improve as the week goes on. You know, they've slowly brought their team together at the last minute after substituting Herman for Babs. You know, and they've just had to blow off the cobwebs. Remember what it was like a couple of years back when they won this event?
Yeah.
3 years ago now. You know, and I spoke to Sevy the other night. He said his tactics are getting better. Everyone's knowing when to go, how to hit the rail a bit better, and you know, let's see if that's played. They've got their, you know, 5th day of racing now. They've got 2 races. You know, I'd see them and Honda really battling it out. Honda's just always had that speed edge, so this week whenever they've needed it, and I'd be probably not expecting any different today.
Well, Troy, I sort of watch the tape after the races each day, more or less, but knowing what happened on the water, what we see is Honda able to hold a lane regardless of what's going on, and then be able to make games downwind, partly from being fast and partly from being accurate.
Yeah, correct. And you know, look at this. This is just heaven sailing. We can get in close while we can here. This is our sponsor, Smeg, Pete Harris, Ricky Bridge, Micah Peach Lane. Look at the smile. It never stops. It just looks beautiful out here. So here the boys heating it up. Pete not yelling right now. Pete's just on the sheet there. Ricky's got the main sheet. He hands it over to Micah. Here they go into a jibe here. Ricky does the shoot through the jibe. Pete blasts through, or they're going for a drop. Sorry, boys. But there you go. You can see the big spinnaker just coming in. Big Pete just battling away there.
Yeah.
Gets the foot in, then blows the halyard.
So, Troy, just mindful of timing, about 7 minutes, yeah?
Copy that. So 7 minutes. Sean's about to do the same. They're about to do a drop now. Eddie Power's running the 1980s trapeze harness there. Dave Power's his son, prominent English sailor. Big wave there. He's been getting some tips off Ian Murray's in close proximity in his personal life on how to sail these things and how to make it go quick. Sean's got all the pressure on with his to try and catch Noakes Blue today. He hopes they both do well. Sean's very kind man, and you know, he just loves supporting people, and lots of work obviously for him out on the harbour with his business, and this is his sort of escape to get out here every weekend. And you know, he's assembled a good team around him, and you know, he's 55, I think Woody said, and second oldest in the fleet. You know, and as we've seen with Woody, these boys, they know what to do. Experience is paying for them. We'll let it go back to you, Bucko, and we'll get into this race.
Thanks, Troy. That was terrific. And it's not every day we can do this for the viewers. Obviously, some days it's just too much wind to indulge in and too much water for us to indulge in that level of up close and personal, but it's been terrific. And we're getting towards 5 minutes, Jimmy. Wind just trickling, but what do you think? 10 knots, yeah?
I think by the end of the race we'll see. Well,
no, I'm talking about right now.
Right now, mate, less than 10, that's for sure.
Less than 10? Less than 10. Okay, good. And just before we get rolling, I do have to have a shout out to PJ Montgomery in New Zealand. Peter, the prominent yachting commentator, a keen student of 18-footer sailing, and one of the memorable memories, I suppose, was PJ commentating on the radio, the Giltinan held there in 1980. Very prominent. And also a viewer in the Czech Republic from Brno, Len Charnel. Hi, Len. Great to hear you listening to us in Brno, which is an industrial town about 200 kilometres east-southeast of Prague. And Len does his sailing in the Baltic. Good to hear from you.
Today's race, Bucko, the Big Kite Memorial race. A few stories to be told about the Big Kite from just about everyone in from your era.
Yeah, so I had the privilege of, Big Kite, real name Dave Stevens, I had the privilege of sailing 3 JJs with Big Kite, and unfortunately succumbed to a fairly rare form of leukemia and pretty aggressive. He sailed the second JJs that we won with a shunt in his chest, taped inside his wetsuit. And unfortunately, we made an agreement with him that we'd keep sailing until such time as he could no longer, and that's what we did.
Very famous story. I got told one day, Bucko, of him getting off the boat and walking back to the club, unless you or someone else apologised. Is there any truth to that rumour?
Oh, no, it's a very funny story, but completely true. Completely true. Him and Sorrow, the chief, Peter Sorensen, had a fairly stormy relationship, and I was kind of the meat in the sandwich. Anyway, you could tell 1,000 stories about Big Kite, but he was a fabulous yachty, a good bloke, big barrel-chested bloke. The harder it blew, the more he enjoyed it. One of those sort of guys. All right. So, Mark, tactically, it looks pretty the same as yesterday. Breeze very soft where we are here at the windward end.
Yeah, it's definitely a big rig, not even in the middle of the range. All the power required, 3 minutes till the start of race 8, 2 races to go to wrap up this 2020 series. It's all on between 1 and 2, and it's all on between 3 and 4, and then, as we've discussed earlier on, a whole series of fascinating battles going to go on. We're going to see what happens over the course of the next hour and a half to 2 hours here on Sydney Harbour. As you'd expect, super quiet out here, very few boats, the odd ferry, strange atmosphere in pretty much every city in the world right now. It's no different in Sydney Harbour, but we are blessed with some yacht racing to watch and a bit of sunshine and a beautiful harbour, and we'll try to stick to the positives and remember the brighter, bigger picture. Plenty of time to reflect on COVID-19. For now, we're going to give you the best of skiff racing you can see anywhere in the world, and it's live from Sydney Harbour. I hope you're going to enjoy today as much as I think we are going to on the Camera Cat. And light upwind, light to medium upwind, but every time we've seen the boats getting ready, doing a little tune-up, they're all 3 wiring. That's good news, so it's not going to be super funky. There's going to be nothing accidental about whoever comes up on top today. Just that start line, Bucko, it was pretty left-end bias all of yesterday. Looks in a very similar place. Looks pretty left to me.
Looks like a carbon copy to me. Fight for the pin.
Another fight for the pin in the second race yesterday. Yeah. We didn't see it too clearly because it was a little hard to get a camera in there, but there were a couple of boats got in there early, such as Shore & Partners, and then a couple of late arrivals like URM tried to get into leeward, and a whole lot of chaos ensued, and 3 or 4 boats actually got spat out the pin. That allowed Winning Group to make the best of the start of the pin. Of course, they went on to win the second of yesterday's 2 races, and that is the result that's set up today to still be a live battle between 2 boats.
Yeah.
That's Winning Group and, of course, our reigning champion, Honda Marine.
Just getting towards 1 minute here. And the fleet all racked up, all trying to get towards the second half of the line. Less wind, definitely at the top of the line. That's 1 minute.
There it is. Within that 1 minute now, the big ferry you saw yesterday just to lure to the pin, that's gone. That's moved off somewhere else. Whole harbour feels a lot better. We can see the harbour bridge. We kind of know where we are a bit more. But once again, they all want the pin, Bucko, as you said. That's the place they want to be.
I'll tell you what, though, just a little puff coming from Shark here. Finport might get out of there okay. 30 seconds.
30 seconds to go at the starboard end of the line. It's the usual suspects. Finport like it up this end of the line. And we've got Rag and Famish and Asco, but down at the far ends, Tech 2 you can see clearly. Shaw and partners are down there. Honda Marine and Winning Group are in the group down the left. Will we see Honda Marine go super conservative, or are they going to have to be more aggressive in this first start of 2 races today? You can see Winning Group down the left end of the line. That's Honda Marine on 1 boat back and 1 to windward, just to leeward of C-Tech. You might just see, but Royal Oak look like they've got the pin.
Honda had to do a double tack just before.
But early, Royal Oak looked early. Let's see what the starter says.
Yep. Individual recall.
It is an individual recall. That's I was just wondering if he went to a general, but he didn't. Looked like Royal Oak were over at the pin. Anyone else, Bucko, you were worried about that?
I think Winning Group was good, and they were second in the string. So
Winning Group pushing it, but we think pushing it and being all right. We'll keep half an eye. Jimmy's going to keep half an eye on the VHF and see if we can get a signal as to who was early. Finport maybe thought they were early. Yeah, they're going back. It's not doing a penalty turn. Finport in the middle right of the line. They have just gone back. Or they've already had 1 OCS this week, haven't they? So they're maybe getting a little bit OCS shy. So that's why you might not see Finport for a little while. We are in the middle of the fleet. That drone shot showing you pretty clearly what's happening down at the far pin end. Royal Oak are carry on sailing. They don't think they're over. Carrying on, up to windward of them is Winning Group, looking in a very strong position. And you can see to leeward of them is Tech 2, to windward of them, 2 boats up, is Honda Marine. So the Honda Marine winning battle is already live in a boat-for-boat sense, not just a points basis.
Honda Marine holding a lane pretty easily, though, by the look of that, Mark, yeah?
Yeah, holding the lane, and they got a lovely big gap to leeward. Look at that space down to Noakes Red, or Noakes Marine, Noakes Sailing as the boat's officially called. We call them Noakes Red because it's a red hull. Bit easier to remember. And of course that's Sean 2 points behind his teammate Noakes Blue, so he's got a little bit of work to do there if he wants to be the top Noakes boat. But as you said, Buck, a Honda Marine holding that rein relatively comfortably, but Noakes Red, who are their biggest threat to close down that lane, they're no slouches in this. There's nothing wrong with their boat speed.
No, and good day for the Noakes Red, just near the middle of the rig range. Noakes Red light, good setup for this. And they showed that speed the other day. But Honda are able to get around the bow of the boat to windward of them, which is Bird and Bear, who were very quick when it was a bit less windy than this.
But of course the big issue is what happens. They're all heading towards Bradley's Head. No one will be surprised about that. You all know the form here on this northeasterly direction. But who's going to be able to tack out of the corner? The leader into Noakes is going to be Royal Oak, who's a suspect OCS. Jimmy will bring us up to date on that in just 1 second.
Well, that's what I've been trying to let you know for the last minute. They were the only boat called OCS. Finport wasn't over.
Thank you, Jimmy. Confirmed that is the OCS boat. So we'll try not to talk about them too much. But the next boat in there is going to be Winning Group and then Tech 2. But can Winning Group tack and cross Noakes Red? Yeah, that is probably the first key battle coming up here.
They've got plenty of margin, Mark, I think.
Winning Group will easily cross them.
Yep. Yeah, subject to a decent tack. We're about to find out. There's the overall picture you're looking at now. You can see the whole story down here. There is Royal Oak, who are attacking out of that corner. They are clear across Winning, or clear not by much, but a Winning Group very happy to let them go. Now it's all down to Winning Group. I've got to execute a great tack. They go simultaneously with Tech 2 just to leeward of them. A nice tack. That looks like it's good enough to get out of that corner. And yep, they're clear ahead of Noakes Red. They're going to be clear across Honda Marine. And very early days right now, but it's going to be Winning Group leading out of this left-hand corner, and pretty close behind. It's going to be Honda Marine and Tech 2, Noakes Red, and Bird and Bear, Noakes Blue. That is probably going to be the top 5 or 6 as we work our way up this beat, right up to an inflatable buoy somewhere up near Watson's Bay. A little bit like yesterday if you watched yesterday's race, but this is less pressure. I reckon we've got 15, 16 minutes of upwind sailing until we get to the top mark. Critical times.
No, less, Mark. The beat's shorter. The beat's 0.4 shorter than yesterday, 0.5 shorter than yesterday.
So a similar time, I guess, a less breeze, shorter distance, similar kind of time.
The mark's just roughly near the blinker buoy.
10 knots of wind. The VMG's not that much lower. Yeah, I think optimum VMG is actually 16 knots. I think in 12, it's a pretty flat curve, 12 to 16.
And as we look at the leaders out the front, the top of your picture. Just a quick recap: Winning Group are leading out into the middle of the channel, followed by Noakes Red, followed by Honda Marine. That is the top 3, and we know what Winning Group have got to do. They've got to get points on Honda Marine, and they've got to do it soon. They've got to do it in this race. at the moment, so they're just tacking, and we'll get on to them in a second. At the moment, they've just got one boat between themselves and Honda. Very, very early days, but both these boats are quick enough that they could hold their positions from where they are now. There's the winning group, leader on the water. She tacks over, clear cross on Honda Marine. And I think we'll expect to see these two boats in close proximity all day long. Honda Marine are not going to let winning group go in any different direction.
So the mark dead upwind of where we are now on the camera cat.
That's what I was just saying, Bucko, up near the blinker buoy, mate.
Yep.
So
a bit more left hand, isn't it, Bucko, than it was yesterday?
No, they put it 5 degrees left of where it was yesterday, which is completely appropriate. Breeze is a little more left than yesterday. Air's warmer. Norwesterly gradient now mingling with the sea breeze a bit.
So the leading boat's heading back to the left. Honda Marine, by the way, just crossed Noakes Red just before that. So on the water it is Honda Marine in second position right now. But it's very close. We've got Tech 2 in close proximity. You just see them just pulsing behind Noakes Red at the moment. Merskline are in this fight at all. Smeg getting the hard left. They're in decent shape. And right alongside the camera cat is Sea-Tech, Noakes Blue, Kitchen Baker, URM. There's just the odd boat length between these boats in this slightly softer breeze than we had yesterday. The boats are generally closer together, particularly in the middle of the pack.
Yeah, but the first 4 boats have got a good gap now, haven't they, Marcus? There's quite, 4 Pines, Honda, Noakes Red and Winning Group are clearly separated out of the peloton. Everybody else having a knife fight. And everybody taking reconnaissance from yesterday that the tide is quite a big factor, even though it's not a huge amount of rise. The flow yesterday was about 1 knot, according to some pretty accurate reports I got. And everybody knowing the left edge will pay, so you'll see them. You expect to see the fleet on the Port Tack ley line. And Royal Oak crossing easily in front of Winning Group.
Royal Oak's out of the race, Bucko. They didn't go back.
Yeah, no, I've got that.
Yeah, we'll just leave them. It's hard to do it when you're watching a race like this, but we can use them as a gauge of performance, but they are not going to be scored. Jimmy's got that confirmed for the race officer, so we'll try and see through the Royal Oak. Leading, therefore, on the water still Winning Group, second Honda Marine, third Noakes Red. Bird and Bear keeping everybody pretty honest here as well, plenty of pace in this stuff. Tech 2 not losing any ground at all on our leaders. And then the battle in the middle, which is all about the battle to try and get in the top 10, just the odd point between 12th right up to about, I think it's 6th or 7th. And then a bunch of boats outside the top 10, only a few points back as well. There's a lot to be decided today.
So, wow, Honda Marine happy to sit there, just roll along in a little bit of dirty air, just patient as all hell, and they're going to go hard into the left here. So current actually flows upwind in this little bay here to some degree, and Winning Group now taking quite a big risk, Jimmy.
Yeah, like you've seen the performance of the guys on Honda, Bucko, you wouldn't let them go anywhere by themselves. So, unless Sevy and Scott know something we don't know over the other side, I'm not very keen on that idea.
No, and from where we stand, it would look right now as if Honda has closed the gap on them substantially.
Yeah, it's a surprising amount of separation, isn't there? The Winning Group had got that 1 boat delta. That's all they can do is to get to the front and lead, which they're doing. And they've just got to hope the Honda Marine somehow or other make a mistake. But if they just get 1 place on them this race, if they can keep 1 between them and get 2, that'll be nice. Then, of course, it just keeps it open for the last race. But certainly you feel that if Honda beat Winning Group across the water in this first race, that would make it awfully hard to switch around the overalls.
Winning Group now back on a starboard tack, and I think Honda's going to cross them.
Yeah, just very top of your picture. You can just about see Winning Group. That's that dark boat on starboard.
Looking at how high the Royal Oak 4 Pines is sailing, Honda's Winning Group's coming back into a little header, and these guys are sailing less current and more pressure for the last 3-4 minutes. Look at this here. So on the cat, we're just Winning Group's still in front. We're just alongside Honda more or less. Pressure coming out of Chowder.
That looked like a bit of a gain to Winning over the other side, Bucko, which is unusual.
No.
But they look like they've stepped out from Honda, just maybe 3 boat lengths, I reckon.
No, I wouldn't say that.
Oh.
Have a look at that.
Yeah, mate, they were a lot closer than that before.
And there's been a few extra attacks from Honda Marine, haven't there? But a net, not a lot of difference in the end by going two different ways.
Jimmy, what's the separation in now? 4 boat lengths, yeah?
Yeah, five boat lengths, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, Shaw and Partners giving themselves a big task, looking downwind from the camera boat. Wow.
The moment, Royal Oak, who is our sort of marker boat, not going to be a point scorer from where we're sitting, not at all far away from laying, which means winning group must be close to lay as a Honda Marine. So they're give or take on a lay line. Yeah. This beat seems to be going past faster than yesterday's race. Somehow, maybe just a bit more pressure on everybody, a bit more pressure on the scores. So it just feels like it goes by in a blur, but they'll be at the top mark, and in the next, what is that, less than 2 minutes to the top mark for the first time. And things outside that top two, as we said, winning group in first place, Honda Marine in second place, and Smeg have come out of the right-hand side doing well. They're going to get right into Noakes Red, that is, and they're going to be crossing Noakes Red, use their starboard rights, so a marginal cross. Good job by Smeg, not always their favourite conditions, this lighter stuff, but looking like they are bang on form again today. And out of the hard right, Finport, who, remember, went back, a potential OCS, I'm not sure whether they were. Did you hear that, Jimmy?
No, they definitely weren't over. They just went back on their own.
That was a self-inflicted wound then, wasn't it, going back when they didn't need to, but making a decent recovery. They're on the hard right back into this as well, so we're going to see what kind of boat speed Finport's got here.
I'll give you a tip, Mark, not enough.
Yeah, it's a long way back, isn't it, once you've gone downwind to recover from an imaginary OCS. Anyway, back at the top mark, Royal Oak will get out of the way soon, but they are closing in on that top mark, and winning group no more now than less than a minute from that top mark for the first time. A little bit of extra pressure up here. Solid 3 stringing by all boats. Quite different conditions from the start. I mean, nothing like the wind we had yesterday, but we're solidly into sort of 9 and 10 knots now. Maybe even 11 in the puffs. The left of your picture, that is winning group. Just going to be coming up to the mark. They're right on lay. In fact, they're probably slightly cracked here.
Bit of an overlay there.
So
they do that.
Winning group just being dictated to by where Honda Marine were. So in the end, those two boats end up on a very similar lay. First round, the top mark for the first time. The boat in second overall, needing to make up some ground on our leader, Honda Marine, and Honda Marine just 1 place back. A pretty outstanding performance from the 2 best boats in the fleet, making it absolutely clear to everyone why they are in 1 and 2 overall. Second round the top mark, there goes Honda Marine, and a pretty big lead, let's be honest. There's quite a gap now from Honda Marine back to the next boat. It'll be Bird and Bear, I think.
So Mark, the benchmark there, Honda Marine was side by side with Noakes Red about 3 minutes ago, and they're now, well, 20, 30 seconds in front of them.
Yeah, so. Look, a great recovery from Smeg. Look at Smeg coming here. Going to have a bit of an issue with Noakes Red. I don't think they're going to get inside them, or they're going for it. They're going to try and whip it inside. Oh, they did. Good job by Mika. He gets inside Noakes Red. Great recovery on that beat. So Bird and Bear looking good as well. They go around in third place. Fourth place is Smeg, effectively equal with Noakes Red, who come in with more pace on a long starboard lay. And then it's Tech 2. And you can see the gaggle of boats here. Sea-Tech, Maersk Line, URM and Kitchen Maker. Everybody's going to go through pretty cleanly. Nice little holes opening up for all the port ley line arrivers. And then in comes Shaw and Partners. We haven't talked about them so far in this race. They've been a bit off the back, and still lots of work to do by Ilve, Appliances Online, Rag and Famish, Del Zotto. And eventually we will get to Finport. We're coming into the fleet, but not sure there'll be enough time for them to make any impression. There's Kitchen Maker, who had a memorable capsize yesterday at the top mark for the last time, did a full nosedive, and then at the bottom mark had a massive crash with Vintech. Didn't end up very well for either of those two boats. Vintech not racing today because of the effects of the damage of that crash. So as you can see, pretty hectic at the top. Disappointing first beat for Noakes Blue, a long way back from Noakes Red. So that little battle between the Noakes ships at the moment getting settled in favour of Sean Landman's Noakes Red.
Good.
And Finport eventually get around the top mark. And after Noakes Blue, it's Birkenhead Point Marina. And behind them, it is Yandu. And now we will concentrate on what's happening with the mid-fleet. Here is the mid-fleet right in front of us. Ilve, Appliances Online, Maersk Line, they're in not bad shape for the overalls. We'll talk about some of the overalls, maybe the end of this first race, and really pinpoint in on who's got to beat who and by how many places. And up at the front, the story is still the same. It is Winning Group in first position, and Honda Marine doing what we saw yesterday them do quite a few times, Bucko, just sail a little faster and a little deeper. Looks like they're doing the same again.
As they can do now. They maybe do have an issue potentially with the ferry here. Winning Group already on port, the ferry coming down at 16 knots. The boat VMG probably only about 11, so the ferry faster than the boats in this wind speed VMG. The ferry going dead downwind more or less. A bit of a tricky problem.
I think Winning might get across here. Winning Group and Honda, the top right of your screen, they're the two boats we're really talking about. Can they get across the ferry? I think they will. I'm just not sure whether Honda Marine will. Honda Marine might be very unlucky here. Honda Marine are about to jibe, and when they do, when they look up to their left, they're going to see that ferry. They've got to get across its bow if they can, because Winning Group have gone early to make sure they get across it.
But, Mark, I mean, take the point. Honda's judgment all week has been sensational.
It has, and now they're going to do it again, but I don't know whether they're going to judge the speed of that ferry. Plenty on here. We're right in amongst the boats. We are beautifully positioned. Jimmy Berry driving with some aplomb in and out of these fast approaching skiffs. We'll get through the gap ourselves. There's Noakes Red leading the Noakes Blue private battle by a lot, and then overall Noakes Red is in third place. Winning Group have definitely crossed that ferry, and Honda Marine. Will Honda Marine get across or not? This is looking marginal at best. We'll try and show you that angle in a second as we look forward. There's Honda Marine on screen now. Out of your hard left of your picture, you just can see the ferry bow. That's what we're talking about here. If Honda Marine can't get across the bow, they're going to have to go conservative, slow down, and take the transom. It could get all a bit exciting here. A lot of it depends on what the ferry does, whether he turns right to make it easy for Honda Marine. If he's a New Zealand supporter, the good ship Queenscliff is about to turn right or slow down, and if it's an Aussie supporter, they might just put the hammer down here.
No, Honda's across them okay. Just.
Oh, you say that with confidence. How do you work on that out, Bucko?
No.
Let's see. Well, I reckon Honda Marine, I guess, think that's the case. Otherwise, they would have jibed by now. As you see Honda Marine disappear across the bow. Yeah. I'm not sure that was 200 feet, which is the rule, but that's not a rule that other boats are allowed to protest. That is the race committee can take a view about that. But the Honda Marine do get across safely. All the rest of the fleet will take the transom.
So body language on the Honda Marine says they're on a lay.
Yeah.
And Winning Group will come across presumably and jibe on their wind. They're pretty close. And I think, Mark, the other thing to note is Honda Marine probably pretty happy to be second or just one place behind. They don't care that much.
Yeah, of course, they're going to be conservative as they are.
Yep.
As you said, second will do, but, you know, if they could just get into first, that would really take the heat off them for the final leg.
Now, I think Winning Group's now going to overlay this.
You'd have to think they're going to overlay, aren't you? Because we're just coming down where you've got Honda Marine, Winning Group on screen. There's the harbour bridge on the right. Well, we're pointing on the camera cat straight at the mark. We're paralleling Honda Marine, and it looks to us that Honda Marine are straight into this in one. But the right-hand mark looking downwind is a fair bit further to leeward. So I think Winning Group will get forced to take the right-hand mark, which is further away from where they want to go, which is, of course, is upwind, but that will be their natural lay.
Honda's coming to the left-hand mark, I think, here.
Yeah, I think Honda will take the left here. I think Winning Group will take the right. And if Honda can get down here without too much of a soak, we're going to end up with these boats effectively bow to bow down at this bottom mark for the first time. Remember, it's only a two-lap race. These races go past awfully quickly.
Honda, windward drop at the left-hand mark, Jimmy. How about that?
Opposite ways round up the bottom. Royal Oak getting in the picture a little bit. Don't worry about them.
Or not.
They are OCS'd. So Winning Group end up right in the gap between them. Pretty much the right-hand buoy is the one they'll go for. Honda Marine in the end couldn't quite get there without jibing. What are Honda Marine going to do? Double jibe back. Let's see what they choose. Yeah, they are. It's much more upwind. That's the one you want to go around if you can. It's just a boat handling test, and they got some traffic in the way, which is bad luck for Honda Marine. That's a non-starter. Royal Oak, but Honda Marine neat and tidy around the corner.
Plenty of pressure on Brad in the bow, but he got the job done.
Yeah, and so first and second, Winning Group and Honda Marine, no surprise. A really good battle here between Noakes Red and, you see on screen, there's Tech 2, Sea-Tech, Smeg, Bird and Bev. There's nothing between these 4 or 5 boats, all trying to get it in that third place in race 8. Look at these boats hammering down towards this leeward mark. Breeze is definitely up. Solid 3 stringing. There'll be a lot of simultaneous jibing happening down here. Bird and Bear look like they might have got that angle absolutely nailed, and they're going to go behind Noakes Red. But Smeg still right into this, so they're going to have to take the left-hand mark. A lot of boat handling challenges here. There's Noakes Red, you're watching coming into the mark, and there's the pack behind them, all approaching the gate for the first time. Honda Marine went round that left-hand mark looking downwind. They tacked almost immediately, so we've got both Honda Marine and Winning Group heading back towards Bradley's, both on starboard tack. Honda Marine, of course, have the windward gauge, having taken the upwind of those two bottom marks. But in 1 and 2 are heading off to Bradley's. We'll wait and see what happens when they get nearer to Bradley's. For now, let's look at the battle behind them, and it was Noakes Red ended up holding her 3rd place. Bird and Bear get up to 4th. Smeg drop a place back to 5th. And then it's Tech 2 and C-Tech almost simultaneously. URM had a really good run. They're right up into what I think is 7th. And then it looks like it's Burskline, Rag and Famish, and a slightly better performance from Birkenhead Point Marina today. And then it's Noakes Blue, the next one back. Just 1 lap to go. Jimmy, this race is happening fast. I don't know why. It just feels to me like it's gone in a flash. We're halfway through. It's all going to go. Today will be over real soon.
Yeah, 18 minutes for 1 lap, so... Yeah,
as
I think
per the
that was
target.
we
better get
bang on their targets. Jeremy's worked out the distance quite good.
Listen, he was a Qantas captain. He probably has got pretty good mathematics, I would suggest.
Well, one would hope.
One would hope, exactly.
So as the last of the back of the fleet just go around that bottom mark for the first time, you can see Birkenhead Point Marina just approaching along with Rag and Famish, and then it will be Noakes Blue, and Shaw and Partners are still down there. They're not sure what happened to Shaw and Partners. They didn't have a great beat, but somehow you expect them to come through the fleet, but it hasn't happened for them. Maybe just not enough breeze to make it any kind of a boat handling challenge. And the middle of this fleet now, by the end of the series, as often happens in boat racing, are going fast enough that they're pretty hard to overtake.
Yeah.
I think what you're going to see, if this is the end result, what we're going to see here, first and second, regardless. I think, Sevy's big thing that he's got to do is try and engage Honda, who, aren't used to sailing in 20-boat fleets. They only race with 4 boats over in Auckland. Got to try and engage them in the pre-start and make life extremely difficult for them.
Yeah, we might see that in the next race, but by then it might be all over. Well, maybe not quite all over mathematically, but at the moment, Winning Group on port, marginal. Oh, they didn't think they could cross. That's it, they didn't think they could cross Honda Marine. Look at that, they've taken the advantage downwind mark, and that's where they made most of their gain. Bit of boat speed across here. We thought Winning Group were clear across on port. Clearly it was too close to call for Winning Group. Couldn't afford a risky protest, so they do the right thing. They attack, heading to leeward, and now it's a proper test between the 2 best boats in the fleet. How close are they, Bucko? Just a couple of centimetres.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff, isn't it? But, Honda Marine here, the advantage goes to them clearly now. They can just squeeze Winning Group in here and take their time, tack. Winning Group just has to follow, and then Winning Group inevitably will be in dirty air for a while. So,
well, Winning Group, they start calling for water early as you like.
They will.
Try and get them to blink.
Come on, boys. 3, 2, 1. That's all good. Honda won't press their luck too hard. They don't want to protest. They don't want to know anything about that. Here they go, and now it's a squeezing match on port.
Well, it's a tack test, first of all. It's both broadly equal points on the tack.
Honda was slightly better than Winning Group.
Yeah, I agree with that. Just a little bit better. They've, of course, got the traffic of Rural Oak, not going to count. But, of course, she doesn't know that. She's on the race course. So you've got to give her the port starboard for now.
That's okay. Royal Oak's clean. But I would have thought the committee might have sent a messenger out to Royal Oak to tell them.
Yeah, it's not ideal if some incident happens between these 2 boats caused by Royal Oak. Well, that is yacht racing. That is the sport. But at the same time, it's not really how we want any of the points here decided. As you said, though, Bucko, Honda Marine in that advantage to head into leeward position, making life extremely uncomfortable for Winning Group, having to live there and can't afford to fall into their gas. But it won't be long till Winning Group will be not unhappy to tack away and take up that favoured left-hand side.
No, that's right. Jimmy, what are you looking at here? Do you think both guys in the absolute high slow mode, Winning Group doing a pretty good job?
Well, in Winning Group's position there, Bucko, that, as you know, is mission impossible to stay there, and they're doing a great job to stay there for this long.
I'm impressed they've survived this long. That was my...
I know.
I
was just looking at our boat speed and going, well, we're dropping boat speed, so they're obviously dropping boat speed. I don't want to get any closer and get involved in the tussle with the camera cap, but here you go. You're going to see Sevy's had enough. He's out.
Yeah.
He wants to go boat speed racing.
Yeah, exactly.
And it won't be long till Honda Marine, of course, go over. They just saw them.
Honda, you just seen then just crack the
Yeah.
main, and they're out of here. So
Yeah, let's go. They said.
Just get themselves, 30 seconds of back up to VMG and then tack, up speed. Of course, they force Winning Group to tack, down speed. That's worth what? Half a boat length could be critical.
Absolutely.
Nice skills by Honda Marine. Nice positioning for the camera cat to see those little intricacies. Makes the difference between a very good boat and a champion boat. Both these boats potentially are champion today. Honda Marine or Winning Group is going to be one of those two boats for sure. Both giving a bit of an exhibition in high skill, medium strength skiff sailing, making it as tough for each other as they possibly can.
But Mark, I mean, think about the psychology here. If you're on Honda, you're feeling pretty comfy. You're leading the regatta. The other guy, you've just got in front of him, and you're a little better than him downhill on average.
And you're right. And actually, if Honda Marine do end up second, it isn't the end of their world. They're not
Exactly.
going to push or take a risk. You get the feeling Winning Group will take the risk. Having said that, that last port and starboard we saw off Bradley's was pretty interesting. How Winning Group paid full respect to Honda Marine. They didn't chance their arm across, get involved in anything. They just wanted to keep it clean. So at the moment, Winning Group keeping calm, staying patient, waiting for the opening. But Honda Marine just might not open the door at all for them.
No, Honda has now got Royal Oak between them and Winning Group as well here, I think.
And just a quick,
Honda's just waving Royal Oak through.
Yeah, I'll be saying, please, guys, get through. And by the way, can you go the other side of the beat? Get out of the way. Would be nice. Look, a quick update on what's happening behind. Nothing's really changed. Noakes Shredder, the next boat back, but these two boats, despite being in that very slow mode that we watched a second ago, that Jimmy and Bucko were talking about, they've actually dropped back. These two leaders have stretched on boat 3, which is Noakes Red, behind Noakes Red.
Now you just see Dave having a big
Now, Jimmy,
hand
what
up.
sort of clamp is this going to be?
The tightest one that you can put on.
What's that one called? The G clamp, the spring clamp? Have the gas
There
mask,
you go.
brothers.
Winning Group having to tack out.
Yeah, exactly. So Honda might go one more time up to the ley line, and then they can gas them the whole way. We'll see. Honda probably now, Jimmy, do you think? Just lengthen the legs a little bit, just stretch.
Well, why? Well, like we've watched it all week, Bucko. They're incredible. But like they just need a bit of clean air, which they've got, and they'll be even around the bow of Aaron on the Royal Oak before you know it. And they'll go on. My guess is well and truly to win this one. And as I said, I think the only thing Sevy's really got left to throw at him, other than a kitchen sink or something, is definitely try and engage them as hard as possible in the pre-start, where Dave and Matt and Brad on the Honda, they sail other classes and in bigger fleets, but not in the 18, and just try and unnerve them in that situation. I think it's the only thing. And as you see, then Honda just plant one right on the face of Winning Group. So
look at that shot we're showing you. The drone, of course, is in front of the two boats. Look at that, bang in line. Honda Marine giving them just a slight suggestion they can live there, and we know that they can't. So at some point, Winning Group will have to tack away. But of course, we're pretty much off the ley line here. We got the land to the left. The buoy is not a million miles away. They don't really want to tack away. They're going to have to. There they go. No choice. And of course, Honda will take them to the ley. It's like an old-fashioned match race, this, Bucko, isn't it? Like an old slow America's Cup boat, where they slowly but surely, relentlessly walk the Oppo out to the ley line.
Right.
It's going to happen.
The tack on the Winning Group wasn't very tidy, so that will have cost them a little. And Honda, I think, coming back again now.
just have a watch of Honda's tack and how neat and tidy their manoeuvres are. It's good.
Tidy. Probably even better than some of yours in the fire stopping, Jimmy.
Mate, I was never known for my good tacks, Bucko. I think there was one time I got a wow out of you for a good jibe. One good jibe in 10 years there, brother.
You guys downwind were pretty good, I thought,
I like going downwind. I didn't like upwind.
The delta between our two leaders is growing, isn't it? Every time you look up, of course it is. It's big advantage to Honda Marine. They got the advantage by choosing the better of the two downwind marks and then going straight into fast upwind mode. Just enough to stop Winning Group on that cross. You remember off Bradley's, that's where this switch happened. And ever since then, it's been a textbook upwind covering job by Honda Marine, just giving Winning Group every now and then a thought that they might live there, they stay in that lane maybe a second or two too long. It's happened a couple of times here. And now Honda Marine have said, it's ley line, let's clamp it on big time. And that's where they are. Very hard to see. What do Winning Group do here, Bucko? Just talk me through where Sebi's headed. What are his options?
He doesn't have any, that's the problem. Manly ferry option, yeah, call the big green ferry in.
Well, that's his best bet, isn't it? There is a big ferry to the right of your shot. We'll look at that in a second. Happens to be on a line yet again. Honda Marine have got the whole will I cross them or won't I cross them issue. I don't think, well, Winning Group aren't going to cross them.
No, the ferry will beat them both here.
Yeah, so that means that and on the basis the Honda Marine's on ley line, this is a little opening about to go Winning Group's way. This is a gift from God, isn't it? Let's be honest. Something we're just saying.
Mark, I think the ferry's just going to go. I mean, it's doing 16 knots straight up wind. These guys, VMG's about...
Might be Cubby driving it. What do you think, Bucko? Cubby just coming in to fix up the...
For once in my life, disagree with you, Bucko. I normally agree with you. Honda Marine have got a lot on here. Plenty on. They're stopping.
Slow down
and Winning Group, in the meantime, sail round the back, taking advantage. This is far from a non-issue. This is not the ferry sailing straight through at all. This is a massive issue. This changes the whole race right here.
Does the ferry turn left?
No.
He did, yeah.
He's in the channel, Bucko.
Let's let our eyes do the talking. Winning Group will have a less of a void to sail through. In the meantime, Honda are having to stop. They're not tacking away. They're not going to have to do that, but this is not helping them at all.
No, they're right up at the ley line. They're going to blast through the back of it.
Phil Barnett probably driving the that Manly ferry, just he's weighing in.
It won't be too bad.
No, it's pretty short-lived, isn't it?
Yeah. Now Honda Marine 2 sail into the mark, and the Royal Oak's still going to lead. So that was well handled, Mark, wasn't it? I would have thought the ferry would have just gone the other side of the mark, would have given them all the room in the world.
He's got to stay in the channel, Bucko. That's they have to. That's the law.
It was certainly a hard enough issue. It was a random thing on Sydney Harbour. We haven't had many of those in this regatta. Nothing like the normal ferry traffic, but today the ferry came in, and that's made a difference. Honda Marine, Winning Group, nothing more than a boat length or two between them. That has closed the battle up. Remember, it's one run to the finish, and that's the end of race 8. It looked like it was all over 5 minutes ago, and it's still big advantage to Honda Marine. But Winning Group, if they can sort this tack out, they might have gone a bit early there, then Winning Group at least have got a glimmer of hope. Second round, Winning Group, top mark for the second time.
15 seconds.
15, yeah. Well, that's doable. It's not impossible. Let's see what happens. Sebi's going to have to find something here. And just looking at the rest of the fleet, a lot of other battles going on the overalls. Noakes Red still hold in third place in this particular race. And it looks to me like URM have just popped through the whole fleet. Not sure how they did that, but URM sailing an outstanding beat to move up into 4th position. And then CTEC have done well here. SMEG have done not too badly. Bird and Bear were the best of this group at the bottom mark. They've dropped a little bit off the back of it. So CTEC in great shape. A few changes have happened here. I didn't see what happened to URM. We were a little glued, understandably, to the battle for 1 and 2. But we'll try and keep our eyes on the rest of the fleet for it. And there's a lot of supporters with various boats you're following. And you'll see on the camera all those boats going upwind as we go downwind with our 2 leaders. I've got Tech 2 on the just to the right of us, so they're up on the port ley line. They're off the back of that middle group. Finport right back into that group as well. So they won't be unhappy with that. But in third place, the top mark, having just gone round, that is Noakes Red, followed by URM. Better performance from them, great beat from them. And I think it's going to be then Bird and Bear, CTEC, and SMEG, and then Shaw and Partners, who've come out of nowhere as well, are right into that battle too.
Bit of a tough situation here for Winning Group. They know that there's more pressure on the western shore, the edge towards which they're sailing currently. Any jibe, which is what conventional theory would suggest, is probably going to weaken the case. They might be looking for a bit more interference out of the large white spectator vessel on our bow. We are travelling alongside Winning Group in the Cameron Cap.
Yeah, they almost want to find some ferries, don't they? Try and sail Honda towards some more shipping.
This one might make Winning Group have to jibe, in fact.
Look at this. What's the John Cadman up to here, Jimmy? What's your best guess? He's broaching. What's he doing? Big right-hand turn, and is he reversing? I don't know what he's doing.
No, he's not reversing. He's just still going ahead.
Just turning hard right. Yeah. Using a lot of something, a lot of throttle gone down on the on that little passenger boat.
But Honda's completed their jibe perfectly, and they've now got 80 metres perhaps downwind advantage. Now Winning Group on this jibe might try and press forward, but they've shown no ability to go faster through the water downwind than
No, you're absolutely right. We've never seen Honda get overtaken in these kind of conditions downwind. Well, I'm not sure we've seen them get overtaken net downwind the whole series.
Well, I think Honda's the only one that's overtaking everyone.
Yeah, can you remember, Jimmy, any time when Honda have got overtaken downwind? I can't think of one.
Not even in the rigging park. Always first out of on the water too.
Tech 2 did overtake them.
Okay, yeah. Oh, on those first couple of days, those weird puffy ones, you're right, there was a little bit of action then, but Honda Marine have been pretty relentless downwind, that's for sure.
So Honda's got some choice here. I'm sorry, Winning Group's got some choice here to sail hot and try and entice Honda, but Honda's just ignoring them, I think, now.
Yeah, these first two, they've got about another 3 or 4 minutes sailing. We'll stay with them and keep you informed, but let me tell you about the rest of this yacht race. It is Notes Red, who are in third place, URM behind them, then it's Bird and Bear, C-Tech having a terrific race, Smeg just behind them, and then Tech 2, and it looks like it's going a little bit too far back to see Maersk Line, look like they're in reasonable shape. Appliances Online, Finport and Kitchen Maker, and then eventually Notes Blue, behind them. That's about the top 15. We will, of course, look at the points situation after this race. We'll get a gap between the two races. After this race finishes, will be probably about a 5 or 10 minute gap, no more than that, before we go into the final race, race number 9, final race of this series. Stay tuned wherever you are. If you're watching it live, you might be in New Zealand, maybe the rest of Asia. An awful lot of people working from home or self-isolating. What better thing
Winning
to do
Group jibing
than watch this race?
Well, that's remarkable, isn't it? You know, the only chance they had really was to try and go forward. They've now just said, okay, we'll just make sure we're going to get second here. Honda Marine free to go.
You think that was just a last roll of the dice? I think it was just, we've got to do something rather than just following them in.
Well, Honda's very close to the lay line, Mark, I think.
I know, I mean, there's really nothing you can do, is there? It's a roll of the dice when really, you know, Honda Marine are unlikely to take much notice. And that's just what our champion boat has done, has said, if you want to jibe, Winning Group, 2 extra jibes, fill your boots. We'll just carry on straight down here on either on or awfully close to the lay line.
You know, they're going to beat them now by, and, you know, it's a reflection of straight line speed, but they're going to beat them by 45 seconds or something here.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a much closer boat race than that, hasn't it? Winning Group led for the first lap, and it was very tight up that second beat, just enough of an advantage to Honda Marine to give them that tiny bit of control, and then they fully exercised that control to stretch out. And then this downwind is slightly flattering to Honda Marine, with Winning Group trying that jibe to nothing at the end. But I guess they had to try something, and they're never going to fall back another place because it's a big old gap back to third overall, Noakes Red. Relaxed body language, as you'd imagine, from our world champion crew. Honda Marine exists. Of course, the series isn't over, but the current world champions, Honda Marine, with just one race to go, they're going to have a pretty tasty lead. I think it's going to have to go pretty bad from the last race. Bucker's just going to check to see mathematically if this is good enough to lock up the series. I'm pretty sure it's not.
Nothing. Don't take anything away from Royal Oak either. Like, they've been able to stay out in front, and they actually extended from Honda.
Yeah, actually, good point, Jimmy. I mean, they are an illegal startup, but they didn't have that much of an advantage, did
No.
they? So it's a funny one to talk about, but in the end, Royal Oak, it turns out, were quick enough to stay out the front of these two boats. But OCS is OCS, isn't it?
Correct.
Scores on the doors will tell a different story. So Honda Marine roll into what will be their final approach. Of course, the Winning Group have got a 5th. Honda Marine have only got a 4th as a discard. So effectively, they could come last in the next race, and they'll end up counting a 4th. And if they're better than that points as the delta, you know what I mean, at home, they might not even need to do the last race. But I'll let Bucko sort that out, or I won't prematurely guess that. As Honda Marine approach the finish line of race 8, yet again, another bullet. If it ever comes to countbacks, Honda Marine are going to win the countback fight, that's for sure. And they cross the line, first place, awesome job by Honda Marine. And it'll be Winning Group, probably, as you said, probably got it spot on, Bucko. 45 seconds back is about right. They're going to cross the line, and then another 45 seconds back to Noakes Red. And once Noakes Red have crossed the line, Bucko's going to give us his mathematics, his provisional, where we're at right now. So Winning Group crossed the line. Second place, they gave it all they could in this race, a battle all the way. In the end, they were beaten by basically a slightly faster boat, 2 exceptional skiff crews, but Honda Marine definitely the advantage boat, just got a little bit more. And next across the line, it's Noakes Red. just a few seconds back. Great job by Noakes Red, Sean Langman, sailing beautifully today. Well ahead of the 4th overall. And as he crosses the line, we're going to try and get an interview if we can in a second. And Bucko, overall positions, have you got time to give us a quick update?
Honda is the world champion again.
So Honda, without selling the last race, cannot be beaten.
16 points, and winning group with a discard at 17.
There you go. It is what we sort of thought might have happened. Honda Marine, fantastic performance. A brilliant job all round conditions. But we're going to have a little chat with winning group first of all. We're just lining ourselves up so Troy can have a chat with what Sevi thinks about that and whether he knows where he stands overall. Not sure he does. We'll see.
Jump on the rail, boys. Okay. Yep. All right, boys. Well, I'm here with second place in that race. I don't know if you guys know, but you got Royal Oak was over, so doesn't change much in the overall results. But nice work by you boys this week. Come together at the last minute, and you know, you can see with a little bit more time, you probably would have thrown the challenge at them a little bit more. Sam, your thoughts of second and another JJ's?
It's just frustrating. You know, we sort of gave it away in that one, and didn't, you know, unable to get a good visual of the bottom gate, and that was the race right there. But yeah, those boys are sailing well, and good on them. They've done a great job this week, so good job.
And you still got another race to come, boys. Another one to finish it off. Could be your last time sailing a skiff for a while, so go out on a high note, Babs.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be back anytime soon.
The best part about it is that we don't have to see Scott Babbage and a Mankini again. The main sheet hand on the winning boat each year gets dressed in some beautiful attire. Sevi, back into the helm position, mate. Nice work, buddy. Second overall.
Yeah, it was good. They obviously sailed very well. They were very hard to beat. We tried everything we could to do it. We just made a mistake at that bottom gate. I think you couldn't tell how big the bias was until we got down to the bottom, and that was the race right there. They got to us, and then they sort of protected well. It was pretty easy to protect on that track. So.
Well, we've seen you jump back on the helm. You've been off it for a couple of years now. Does this get the loins fired back up to maybe skipper again?
Oh yeah, I always enjoy sailing with these guys. It's good fun, and you know, yeah, we just got to. I think they had a little edge on us on speed all week, and you know, we had to really work hard to beat them. But you know, hopefully, yeah, we're back and we can do it again.
All right, boys. Well, you did a good job this week, and I'm sure John Winning Jr. will be happy at home for getting his boat into a solid second position. Don't know if you can lose it from here, so enjoy the last one. Go on a good note.
Cheers, guys.
See you, boys. So, Bucko, you know, it is a great thing that they've been able to do. They came together just before the practice race, that combination. And, you know, it just shows the level that Honda is sailing at and themselves. They've got another step on the rest of the fleet. I see Mick Elaine had a good one with Smeg in that last one, so it looks like he's got a better hold on third position over Shaw and partners. So, you know, that's the play. URM had a good one. They're sort of edging out that back end of the top 10.
Troy, I think you made a good point. Winning group, the guys have done a fantastic job. You know, and they're three, you know, highly accomplished sailors, and not that easy to bolt a combination together. They've done everything but, you know, get close enough to Honda. But Honda does have an edge both in decision making and a little bit in downwind speed. And that's a bit of a complicated one, but pretty hard for Winning Group to win that race today when Honda, you know, was in touch with them at the first windward mark, I thought.
Yeah, and you know, as Sam said, they obviously picked the wrong mark at the bottom. Hard to do though. Hard to get that right in these boats. Hard to see under the spinnaker. They sized it up. You know, they made a judgment call. It was wrong. It allowed Honda to get some leverage on them, and the way the bottom marks were set up, the mark that Winning Group went to, it didn't allow them to get a good angle into Bradley's head.
Yeah.
And the right-hand gate did for Honda, and that she was game over.
Yeah. But, I mean, it was interesting. you know, Winning Group had completed their attack at Bradley's and looked at one stage as if they might be able to cross, and then don't know what happened, but it just seemed like they started to lose bearing, and they made the correct call that they couldn't cross, so they either had to attack or duck, and they chose to tack back, and maybe they would have been better off ducking. I don't know.
Correct. Well, we're just going to head over. We've got a little bit of time. We'll just try and quickly grab maybe a quick little comment from the Shaw and Partners boys.
So, where did they end up, Troy? I was focused entirely on the other battle, I must admit.
Shaw and Partners, deep.
Deep, yeah. They were full back on the first beat.
Yeah. Mika Lane got I think 6 points or so.
Yeah, Mika was pretty good at talking himself down, but I thought they were going pretty fast, actually, the Smeg.
Didn't get off the line where you wanted to, and then it was all to try and come back from there. You're giving Mika a few points on you. I don't know how many behind were you of him, do you know?
I think he placed in front of us that one, didn't he?
Yeah, he was definitely in front, yeah. Was he one spot in front, was he?
I think he was one in the end, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was 1 point behind. Okay, oh, well, there we go, boys. It's tighter than we thought. Oh, there we go, little match race. So let's see who gets the back of the podium. And Jacko, how far in front was Jacko in that one?
I think he had a couple, so he'll be maybe 3 or 4 behind.
Yep. Oh, well.
So,
Third.
We just got to beat the red boats.
Third position's all to go for, boys. Or let him go, Noddy, before we lose your hand. All right. Well, there you go. So maybe we'll just try and hunt out. Can we see the Smeg? You got time to get over to the Smeg, boys? We're going to go for it. Let's really focus on this battle for third. Yeah, it's good to see Honda also still out here. Going to take on this last race. They obviously don't have to sail it, but you know, it's good to finish it, and they'll just try and keep it clean. I'm sure they'll probably give it a good crack at trying to dominate this one. Here we come up. Just try and get him beside here, Vicar Lane. He might lift the wing up for us a bit. Ricky can bring on the main. There we go. We'll come in underneath. Our super boatsman, Noddy. Boys, you look like you had a few spots on Doro and that one and Shaw and Partners, and then they came good at the end. You're even points going into the last race. Any nerves, Mika?
No nerves. No pressure at all.
Never any pressure. Ricky, any words of encouragement for your helmsman?
Yeah, mate, we're just going to go out there and give it our best shot and get off this line and see what we can do.
And boy, Pete Harris, another bad start there. Any words for Mika to try and, you know, get him up to the line to help you out?
We just said we'll get a good start and win the last race. That's the plan.
There we go. We like it.
Yeah, that's third row, mid-line.
Well, I see Jacko got a couple of points back on you too, so all on and third.
All on.
All right, boys. Yeah, they've already won, boys. Pete Harris, very proud Australian, is getting, you know, trying to get a little bit back on us Kiwi blokes.
Yeah, Pete's a beauty, isn't he?
All right, boys. Well, we'll come back to you guys, and we'll try and tee up with Honda after the last race and watch them get the ribbon and celebrate.
You've got a bottle of champagne on board, Troy?
No, I don't actually, not on this thing.
Error. Oh well, here we are. Wow. So, Breeze just building a little. Committee still on station, but no signals up, and the last boat has completed, so we wouldn't expect the delay will be too long here. So I think in the middle of the racing here, Mark, we'll just, in the gap between the races, we'll just try and get the points accurately.
It's a brave call, Buck. I'm glad that you're doing it, not me, but this is provisional. Anything we tell you now?
Yeah. Yeah, we're provisional and premature, but we've given the Giltinan to the Kiwis.
Don't make any financial decisions based on what we're about to tell you. It is provisional, but we're pretty confident that Honda Marine are the winners of the 2020 JJ for the third time in a row. And of course, you might have seen an article that was in the sailing press about 2 weeks ago, of course, penned mostly by the Kiwis, saying if we win it 3 times in a row, naturally the event should come back to Auckland and coincide with the America's Cup, etc., etc. And that discussion, of course, has been rumbling in the boat park. I can tell you that the Australians are not crazily keen on that idea, but maybe we'll have a chance to talk to some of the crews about whether they fancy going to Auckland to sail the JJ next March. Hopefully the travel restrictions by then seems unthinkable that they'll still be in place, but who knows. Let's hope the America's Cup takes place. Let's hope it will be possible to do sailing events in another part of the world. For now, we've got just one more race left. There is another race coming. I know we have the champion decided, we have second place decided. Bucko's just going to confirm in a second if a winning group have got second, come what may. But we know for sure that the third, fourth, fifth battle, the one that Troy was talking about there, that is absolutely live, and still the battle to get in the top 10, a great achievement. If you can be top 10 in a 80-foot skiff championship, particularly if you're one of the less experienced crew, there's a bunch of boats trying to get their spot in that top 10. More to come from Sydney Harbour, just waiting for the starter to get us under starter's orders. No particular reason for a delay now, so I don't think it'll be too long.
They've got to pick up the finish mark and move it out to the full-length line for
just
the
a bit
start.
of admin then, yeah. It's probably a little confusing to leave it there, isn't it? Although some race committees are quite happy to leave the downwind gates sort of there or thereabouts on the start line.
Oh, no, it's not the gates, it's the mark. They bring the pin,
yeah, the little one,
shorten up the finish line, and they leave a little mooring attached to the line out there, and then they've got to take the pull that all back up and take it out to where they had it before.
So there's a rib on duty down there, isn't it? But hopefully that's all going to be sorted out before too long.
Dougie said it's killing him pulling the ropes up and down.
Hey, Jimmy, do you reckon when I give us the result over the 2-1? Do you reckon I'll give us the result over the 2-1? I'll give us the result over the 2-1? No? Disappointing.
So just on the winning group, first of all, Bucko, are you confident that they've got second locked up?
Yeah, they have.
Okay.
They, you know, whatever happens, you know, their worst is a fifth. That'll get them to 22. Shaw and Partners started on 28 with a drop.
So Honda Marine are staying out here to complete the last race. Of course, it's traditional at the end of the last race, the champion boat receives the ribbon from what is normally the spectator boat, but there isn't one today. As part of the COVID-19 restrictions, we've got no spectator boats here. We've also got no sponsor boats. We normally have a lot of sponsor boats out. Today is Smeg. Smeg always have a huge sponsor boat. Again, as part of the restrictions, none of our sponsors get a hospitality boat. So thank you again to all our sponsors, despite the fact that they don't get hospitality and they can't come to the club to celebrate because of social distancing, they are still committed to this fleet. So thank you to one and all, every one of the 80-foot skiff sponsors.
Yeah, it's all a bit unfortunate. I mean, there's half a dozen spectator boats and private boats of various kinds watching. Beautiful day in Sydney Harbour, and presumably some people without enough work to do anymore, so people have taken the opportunity.
Yeah, that's right. And one moth sailing. There's a big moth fleet up at Wallara. I think we might see a lot of moth sailors getting some training in the next work-from-home period of their lives. That today, just one moth hooning around.
But Jimmy, looking upwind, like where we are now at the start, the breeze softened a little again down here, hasn't it?
You'll remember yesterday it wasn't really filling in over here, Bucko. I was just speaking to Jeremy on the start boat, Jeremy Whitty. He was just saying they just had to readjust the line slightly different. They weren't happy with it.
Yep.
So they're...
Well, they're just going to try and make it so that you can start at, you know, ideal world, you can start at the women end and arrive at the corner at the same time as the guy that started the leeward end.
But Jimmy, would you say it's a fair comment / maybe even a criticism that it's all been very left bias, all these races? I don't remember a single time, apart from that very light windward leeward day, where the right end's been any good.
I think, you know, like I know a lot of starters don't like them crowding around the start boat, so that's why they make it port end biased. You know, a lot of, like some other fleets have like what they call a barging buoy, which hangs off the back of the start boat, and you've got to go around that as well. You can't cut in between that buoy and the start boat. But it's yeah, yeah, I know these guys, and they don't want anyone near them and knocking their beers over. So
they certainly made the pit end the place to be. There's no one going to start anywhere near them with the amount of bars that's going in.
But Mark, take the point that, you know, you saw like the fleet came off Bradley's Head in the order of start from the pin, right?
Yeah.
And at the first cross, Royal Oak Four Pines crossed everybody by 2 boat lengths. Winning Group crossed everybody by 2 boat lengths.
4-minute gun.
And so on and so on.
Exactly,
you know?
right. Exactly. It followed the form from the pin. If you win the pin, you're probably going to get out of Bradley's in first place.
So that says, you know, maybe if, instead of 5 degree, bias to the pin, which is what it's got now. It needs 5 degrees negative bias to make up for the structure of the wind and the tide today, and in normal terms on Sydney Harbour.
I think that's right, but it's not going to happen. We are not the race officers as much as, well, I don't think we want to be, but of course we can all express an opinion. That's all we're doing. The guys are doing a great job, the race committee. Every race has started bang on time. I think it's probably worth a quick shout out to the race committee. The whole thing's been run very efficiently. The courses have all been fair, very little hanging around. Lines have been a little too left biased for I think, on the camera cat for our particular preference, but basically done a great job. So thank you to the race committee and all your volunteer helpers. As we are inside 4 minutes now, just coming up to 3 minutes, just 5 seconds to go till the 3-minute gun for the final race of the 2020 JJ Giltinan Championships, race number 9. We get the full complement of 9 in.
And that's a feat in itself that the race committee's been able to do that, Mark. So,
it is.
I'm really stoked that we got the 9 races.
We had the slightly funky 3-race day. Not sure that'll be repeated anytime soon, but
no, there was a lot of grumble about that.
There was a fair bit. Yeah, you didn't need to put your ear on the ground to hear the grumbling about that one. No.
I was pretty lucky. I got out of there straight away when we got back. We unpacked the camera cat and I ran, and I still heard about it. So,
that's right. So with Honda Marine, the last race, they're going to want to maybe not get too much involved in the minor placings, but you kind of wonder if you just want to go out on a bit of a high, Bucko. If you won a few of these championships in your illustrious sailing career in this kind of position, what would your position be?
Go hard, win the race.
Yeah, go hard, go win it. Finish it with a bullet. Well, what's the worst place they've scored? It's a 4th, Jimmy, is it?
4th, yeah.
Discarding a 4th. How do you fancy that? Anyone at home watching this who is a yacht racer, you'll know that if you're discarding a 4th, chances are you're the winner.
Yeah, I mean,
there's not too many times you discard a 4th and you're not the champ.
I mean, Mark, when it was, a 7-race series, we used to say win 3 and you've won the regatta. They've won 4 races so far out of the 8 sail. They won half the races. So
1 minute 45 seconds till the start. That is exactly right. Fleet, same kind of deal. We've got a bunch of guys up the right end. Bird and Bear up the right end this time, so they're having a look at it, along with Maersk Line. Had a very good race last race. Maersk Line from New Zealand. URM in the middle right. Finport middle right as well. Then a bit of a gap before we get down to that large group down the left end. A couple of boats. Do you think they're having a little look at a port tack start, Jimmy, those hard lefters, or they're just late?
I think they're just trying to make sure that they are, as Bucko was saying, the furthest left boat.
Aggressively the pin. They're approaching on port, that old tactic. 1 minute, 10 seconds to go. So winning group, one of those boats, they tack, wanting to own that pin. And Shaw and Partners coming in, they're going to want to own that pin as well. So there you go. We know what's going to happen there. The next group up, we can see the dronage making it super clear. Fantastic drone shot showing us the pin end from the extension of the line. That's where we like to look at it. It's Tech 2, Honda Marine are down there, Noakes Red are down there. And you'll better see yourself very clearly whether Shaw and Partners, winning group, how that battle develops. Winning group, you've taken that far left position now. Going fast forward, winning group look like they're too early. They've bailed out, haven't they, out of that left-hand group. Round they go. You can see on the camera shot, Shaw and Partners holding up just about enough space. I reckon they can get into this. 25 seconds to go. The middle of the fleet, nice big sag in the middle. Always
massive,
the story.
Isn't it?
Look at the size of that. You're in no danger of them being over, that's for sure. Back at the pin, winning group do one more circle back round and take a pretty nice slot just to windward of Shaw and Partners, but still in the hard left. Smeg, Honda Marine, Tech 2. Inside 5 seconds, Shaw and Partners are pushing this fine. They've just got enough room to get the bow down now. And there it is. Well, you saw it on the camera, and the camera there is a tiny amount of delay, but only a tiny one, and that looked like winning group and Shaw Partners absolutely nailed it. Both of them clean, both of them right on the line. Great job from both of those boats. Probably Shaw Partners, with this amount of bias, are going to have the advantage, but we'll whip across the top of this fleet on the camera cat. You can watch that beautiful drone shot. You see the whole fleet. Look at the sag, point pipe at the top of your picture, your leader, right down the bottom, Shaw Partners and winning group. There is your race, race 9, last race. Beautiful sunny conditions, 10 knots, not too many ferries. Top yacht racing from Sydney Harbour.
Shaw and Partners looking pretty hot actually, and Honda also in the fight, but kind of struggling a bit there, a bit of dirty air.
Looking very left still, Bucko, isn't it? We said before.
Yep, no. It's gotten a little warmer, which is usually not a good sign for the nor'easter.
Yeah, they're going to struggle to even get to Bradley's. We might end up with a bunch of boats having attacked well before. That creates problems all of its own. but certainly the tack and cross is going to be no less dramatic than ever it is. This could be one to keep your eyes on. About 45 seconds, a minute before the first boats will start to try to execute the escape from the Bradley's corner. It's coming your way soon.
Well, and Honda here alongside C-Tech might be an early bailee, I think. They've got a lane if they want to attack.
Yeah, you're right, Bucko. They just think they can swing the bow from there. They've got enough room, just about. In the meantime,
but maybe not. They're just going to keep going and hang in there.
Yeah, in the meantime, Winning Group are just going a little fast forward and low, happy to take that low berth. And Shaw and Partners have got some degree of control, but it's marginal whether they can tack and cross either Smeg or C-Tech. C-Tech probably doing the best of this group. That's C-Tech, you can see just up to windward of Smeg on your picture.
Yeah, but I think C-Tech's now eating gas off Smeg, and progressively Winning Group's advancing on Shaw and Partners.
Yeah.
Winning Group's probably going to have to wait for Shaw and Partners to tack.
Yeah, you're right. Those Smeg, C-Tech and Honda just all slowing each other a little bit, all fighting for that high lane. And none of them are going to really ever achieve it, but the VMGs are pretty low.
And going high and slow into the header, which, you know, you got race heck 102, says...
And just to the left of Winning Group, you can see a big flat patch of water. That's where there's no wind. The wind doesn't bend around the corner. Winning Group have got to tack before they get to that. They want to push it as hard as they can. They'll have enough space to tack and duck on the way out, which is what they're going to have to do. Question is, can they find a path out of this? We're beautifully positioned to spot this. There's the drone giving you the exact angle. Winning Group comfortably behind Shaw and Partners, but they're not going to get across the next two, so a bit of a duck, decent duck.
Huge duck.
Of course, Honda have already bailed out. Bucko predicted that. Honda Marine went about 30 seconds ago. They're out of this corner. Shaw and Partners get to call water, and Smeg and C-Tech happily go in sequence, so it's played out nicely. Shaw and Partners, they took the chance to win the pin, and it's paid off for them. But there's more boats trying to get across here. Finport doing well on starboard, calling starboard on. I think that was C-Tech making them duck, but Smeg and Shaw Partners are clear across. Finport will be the next one coming right in behind the camera cat, right into Bradley's. And I think Finport will end up all right out of this, Bucko, because they're going to be the next one out, aren't they, with clear air?
Yeah, they look like they might have got fourth out of that with a bit of luck. The other guys still hurting each other out in the middle of the river.
Nice tack from Finport you just saw there from the drone. And they got a nice clear lane. Oh, they're the most left-hand boat. They're going to have to make sure they cross Burn and Bear, Tech 2, Maersk Line, but it looks like they're across that whole pack. And out the front, we're seeing Honda Marine coming back our way. You can just about see them, I think, if you look there. Yeah. You can see Honda Marine coming our way. And Honda Marine and Winning Group tacking on top of Honda Marine just for a bit of fun. I thought that battle was over, Jimmy. Maybe it's not. Just seeing Winning planting one on Honda Marine as they came back over here.
I think you've just got to give them the love that they deserve there, Mark. I think the...
look at this duck. Look at this duck coming here. Threading the needle, Jimmy. That was impressive stuff. Massive duck from Finport. They were committed to cross size. That's the only way they could do it. So that pack, 3 boats, Smeg, Honda Marine, Winning Group, super tight together. And Shaw and Partners, our leader, who are just up to windward of them, also heading off to the left as well. And Finport with that big duck losing a little bit of ground, but staying in this leading group. There's our leader. Just Shaw and Partners, top of your picture. So it is Shaw and Partners in just to leeward of them. They've got a nice control. There's Winning Group, Honda Marine, Smeg, and Tech 2, who you're seeing now, tacking onto port. We're just going to have to duck our leading group of 5 boats. Of course,
Honda are patient, aren't they, Jimmy? It's amazing. Eating a little bit of dirt, but just hanging in there.
They don't mind it, do they? They just sit there, live in it, and go, okay, do your best, and we'll throw the hammers down shortly when we're ready.
Yeah, take the dirt and wait for your opportunity. Jimmy, points overall between Smeg and Shaw and Partners. What's the delta? Who's got to make up what on who? Any idea, or are we not certain?
Not certain on that. I think it's whoever beats whoever here. Out of those two is the third on the podium.
So pretty much boat for boat, you reckon, Jimmy, between those two?
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. Advantage of Shaw and Partner at the moment, early days. Tech 2, we think, are just a couple of points back from those two, so Tech 2 would have to be at least 2 or 3 ahead. At the moment, they are 2 or 3 behind.
And Honda bails after sitting there just thinking about it for about a minute and a half.
Yeah, Honda Bell out of this corner, and Winning Group doing nicely here, putting a bit of heat on Shaw and Partners, who've given up a bit of a lead on the drag over here. I think Winning Group got a real tune-up in that last race when they had all that straight lining against our champion Honda Marine. My suspicion is Winning Group know exactly where their best setting is in these conditions, using that to their advantage. And Shaw and Partners feeling that white-hot heat of a boat that is absolutely dialed in. And that is Winning Group, courtesy of Honda Marine's tune-up. Top 3 boats coming over here. This is our leading 3 in this race. Shaw and Partners marginally the leader. Winning Group can't tack and cross, obviously. They're in second, then it's Smeg. And Honda Marine doing a bit of ducking out there. Bucko, they've ducked Finport, ducked SeaTech, deciding to cross sides.
Pretty amazing. Let's see.
Having a cruise around the harbour in this last race for them.
Well, wouldn't you? Look how empty the harbour is. It's a beautiful day out here on the harbour, that's for sure.
Well, there is, and also, Jimmy, there's a real serious question whether the Kiwis will be here next year. It's an America's Cup year. Whether they'll come out in what is really right in the middle of the America's Cup cycle, I'm just not sure. Realistically, we might have less or no Kiwi boats next year. That's speculation, but that's my guess. So this might be the last time they race on City Harbour for a number of years. Winning Group tacking out of the hard left. They've done a pretty good job. That little bit of straight lining on starboard looks to me like they've probably got themselves up into first place.
Yeah, Winning Group just a little bit faster than the 2 red boats there.
Yeah, a little
short,
a little faster, a little higher, and just enough against Shaw and Partners. But Smeg looked pretty quick in that previous race today, and I think Smeg are going to probably get past Shaw and Partners, that's my guess. But that's the battle. The battle for 3rd overall is between Smeg and Shaw and Partners, and we might be wrong. You viewers at home, I'm sure you've got a better calculator, and you might have been watching exactly the finish order and wrote it down, which I'm afraid we didn't do. We're a little distracted. You might know better than us. Maybe you can fill in the forms on YouTube or Facebook, and we might read that, and you can help us out here on City Harbour. But we think it's a battle between Shaw and Partners and Smeg, and we think it's whoever wins on the water takes 3rd overall. And there they are in your screen right now. 2 and 3, Shaw and Partners and Smeg, and up to windward, the leader of the race at the moment, not by a lot, but by just enough, is Winning Group.
And Honda given back about 25 seconds by the little adventure out to the right.
Yeah, it's a bit of orienteering out there, wasn't it, Bucko? The right hasn't paid so far, and it certainly didn't in that particular little piece. As we know, they're not slow, but they have dropped off the back of this leading 3.
Well, maybe one of the other crews is steering the Honda. Just give the love up. I doubt it, but they,
yeah. What?
I reckon they'll come back. I reckon they'll still end up on the podium in this race. How's that for?
No, I would agree with you, Jimmy. I wouldn't.
They're just too good.
I don't doubt their ability for 1 second.
No.
Yeah, they could be. Or it could be they have just won their 3rd JJ in a row. They've got a little bit of adrenaline and a little bit of thought process running through their heads. They might be just out of the zone, and that does happen. Fair enough, they don't need to even complete this race on the Honda Marine. Maybe they'll just relax. Let's wait and see.
They're way too calm to have the adrenaline run amok.
You may be right. They look calm on the outside, but that doesn't mean they're necessarily calm on the inside. We'll see. But I just think maybe they've just slightly switched off, and why not? Look out of the hard right. We haven't talked about these boats for a while. It is Yandu and URM. They're not going to get anywhere near Winning Group, but we've got a couple of boats who've gone the full hard right into the rocks. We'll see how they come out of that. Del Zotto and Birkenhead Point Marina, they are also out of the hard right. But here, we're alongside Winning Group, 2nd overall. They've locked out the 2nd place, coming off 2nd best to Honda Marine, but clearly best of the rest with a decent gap between them and whoever ends up being in 3rd overall. That battle develops between Shaw and Partners and Smeg. So this is just the first beat of the last race. Again, it's just a 2-lapper. We are in sight of the top mark. That looks to be like 1.5 to 2 minutes, maybe 2 minutes to the top mark. And this race will not take much longer.
So, Mark, just looking back a little, and not on screen, we're travelling with Shaw and Partners, but Finport looks as if they've come to the party. Look out the other side of your head.
Yeah, they have, haven't they? They have definitely put on the turbocharger. Yeah. They came out of the middle, right of the line, and did it. What were they, about 8th or 9th, or maybe 10th at Bradley's?
No, it might have been 6th, but
I'm not sure. But
the point I'm making is they're now near the podium.
Yeah, absolutely. They're right into the leading group, that's for sure. Yeah. Big improvement from them. Plenty of boat speed here. And they've kind of gone the right way as well, haven't they? As far as we see, they stuck to the left where they could.
Yeah, and Honda right up on the port tack ley line, so they've put it all on black, as it were. We think it's the right side, but there is distinctly more pressure on the left side of the track.
Yeah, on the right side, the boats you're looking at, Shaw and Partners and Winning Group, they're well to the right. Winning Group looking for the starboard ley line. They're not far off it now. You'll see them tacking in a bit. And we were just talking about Finport, who are not on the port ley line, but they're much further up towards it.
And we'll find out the answer. And look at Winning Group out of the tack, stationary for a couple of seconds. Smeg come back across and on the lee bow of Honda.
And Finport, as you said, doing well. They've massively come into Winning Group. They've had that extra pressure on the left. They're sailing fast. Finport looking like they're going to be second round the mark with how things stand right now. But it's still in first place. It is Winning Group. And we've just got a little rib up here. That's Joel Bieshel, the 11-year-old winner of the Optimist Nationals. First time that's ever happened for an 11-year-old. With his dad, Adam Bieshel, famous sailing family, out to watch skiffs. There'll be no doubt that we'll be seeing Joel Bieshel in a skiff before too long. And his dad, of course, was a top skiff and 49er sailor and America's Cup sailor for New Zealand. They're out here watching the racing. Day off school for Joel. Quite a few kids missing school today.
So she's a real boat race, though, here. Finport's going to be their second.
It's a
Winning
great
Group's
boat.
going to lead.
Yeah, what a great job by Finport.
Smeg will be third. Honda will be fourth to the mark.
There you go, Winning Group. They're going to win this. They won the battle to the top mark. Nice work by Sevi and his team. Second round, Finport, big, fast improver up that beat. From just about inside the top 10 at the Bradleys to a solid second. And Smeg, they've looked competitive all the way up here. I like the look of Smeg. I've got a feeling they're going to win the battle between Shaw and Partners, but only one boat back. That is the battle we're keeping our eyes on. Shaw and Partners go round just one place behind Smeg, fourth place. And then Honda Marine inevitably somehow, Bucko, they haven't dropped off.
But Honda being incredibly polite there, Jimmy, eh?
Oh, you can't tack in someone's water around the mark, okay? So.
But yeah, what I mean.
They did the right thing. Like, no point in going to the room and ending your regatta that way, is it?
Quite hectic at the top mark, talking about being polite and making room. Royal Oak just putting it in there. They did actually have rights, but only just. That was really well executed. Fine judgment, great tack, great bear away, great boat handling Royal Hotel. And URM couldn't do much about that and frustrate Marcus, but there was no rule issue. And Noakes Red roll over the top. Appliances online. We're going to try and see if we can see Noakes Blue, where they've got URM, bit of drama. Come on, lads, get out on the wire. There they go.
That's about where the bow is, Mark. They're on the wire.
Yeah.
They're trying to hold a lane, which is tough.
Yeah, really hard. Well, the kite's not up. It's part of the problem, isn't it? It's a couple of feet short. That doesn't help their cause. But anyway, they get away with it in the end. It looked probably more dramatic than it felt on board, but good fun for us to watch. That was URM getting luffed up a bit by appliances online. Behind them, Queenslander sailed by David Hayter, and then Birkenhead Point Marina, and then in close company behind, it's Yandu, Bird and Bear, Rag and Famish, and the Kitchen Maker, and then I can see Noakes Blue and Ilve. Not sure that Spinnaker's gone all the way up on URM. I'll have a look in a second.
He just went and sorted most of it.
Oh, still down.
Still got a foot to go.
That's not a fast look, that Bucko, is it?
No, it's pretty hard. There's too much friction to move it under load. Got about 60 kilos in the line, and it's only 4mm line.
It's really easy to pull up under load, isn't it, Bucko?
Yeah, it just can't be done.
From the wire with load. Yeah, I suspect Trent Barnabas might have a crack at it, but not sure anyone else would even look at it.
Trent, man of iron hands and extremely robust upper body.
And talking of, there is Trent's boat, Tech 2, looking to go out on a high. They've had a real mixed series, Tech 2. At moments they've been absolutely brilliant, and at other moments their wheels have properly come off their campaign. Sure they'll be back to fight another one. And anyway, they roll into their jibe just inside Honda Marine, that you can see now. Tech 2 just to the left of Honda Marine. And out front, you can see the boats lined up beautifully on our camera shot. There is Winning Group, our leader, heading to leeward. Finport, Smeg, Honda Marine, Tech 2, and Shaw and Partners, who were just one behind Smeg, choosing the low lane. Bucko, tactical thoughts. You like the look of what they've done here, or do you think they've given it away a bit?
No, well, I still think there's on average more wind on this edge. And, you know, looking at the guys in front, the breeze has rotated perhaps a fraction more. So closer to Bradley's is still going to be better.
I mean, Shaw and Partners are obviously relying on jibing. They need jibing to happen to make this low lane work. I've just got a feeling our leader is going to end up almost letting down all the way. We'll wait and see what happens there. That's the battle between Smeg and Shaw and Partners. There was just one place between them at that top mark. Question now, has Smeg done enough to put a few boats between them? That will make a difference.
Well, Honda won't go away, and neither will Tech 2. They're both quick downhill, those two boats. So I doubt that Shaw and Partners... Well, Shaw and Partners... Well...
Just got to keep it calm, stay low lane. They made the choice now, Buck, haven't they? You've got to stick to it, try and execute it.
That's right.
The question is, which mark's winning group going to go to this one down, you reckon, boys?
Well, yeah, I think they're going to take a closer look at it this time. There'll maybe be a little calmer heads on board, and they'll want to make sure they go around the one that's upwind, because there wasn't a lot of doubt. I mean, it's easy to be it for the camera cut. It was clear which one was closest to upwind. I just think they'd made their decision a few minutes before because of where they jibed. I don't think it was a decision at the end that went wrong. The decision was wrong a few minutes before in the end, but as Sam Newton said on interview, that was a pretty critical error. Opened the door to Honda Marine, and it allowed Honda Marine's marginal boat speed advantage to come into play. Anyway, that was then. This is now. We are near the bottom of the run of the first lap of the last race, if you can follow that logic sequence of this year's series. And it's looking like the usual suspects at the front. Winning group are in first. Honda Marine are in fourth, with Finport and Smeg a little sandwich filler in between. Tech 2 out on the left, looking downwind up to windward of Honda Marine that we're looking at right now. They are very much in play, as are Shaw and Partners, who, guess what, have jibed away again. They really are putting it all on that starboard side. They're going to come in on a hot port ley line.
Honda going back, everyone going back.
Yep. Honda going back into the northerly header from Bradley's not a bad call, and possibly a bit more wind down towards the Kentucky Fried Chicken mark, the channel, safe water channel mark.
Is it a bit lighter maybe coming down? It feels a little lighter on this side, doesn't it? Maybe they're just worried about the pressure.
Yep.
And all the boats went. They obviously all felt the same thing in the end. Shaw and Partners led the charge off to the right, but the rest of the fleet's gone the same way.
But Shaw and Partners a long way behind Smeg now.
Yeah, the distance looks significant, doesn't it? There's...
Well, if you remember 2 days ago, they ripped that spinnaker, so that's a replacement spinnaker, an older spinnaker, so that's not helping them either.
Probably not. So winning group, having been shown a little lesson by Honda Marine in the first race about selection of the marks at the downwind gate, and I think they're going to the right-hand one to do a jibe drop here.
Certainly the lack of pressure on the left looking downwind would make you not really want to take that left-hand mark because you're sailing into the light stuff.
Yeah.
So I think you're right, Bucko. The right one as we look downwind is the one they'll go for, but the two boats behind, we're looking at Finport here and Smeg. They're on a very similar ley line, just slightly lower, slightly more to leeward than Winning Group coming across here. So they'll both have the same decision. Turns out that Winning Group could pretty much take either mark.
Winning Group going to the... Ooh, we don't
Oh,
know.
I think they might jibe. We'll wait and see. They're kind of dead upwind of the two marks now, just off to the left of your picture. That's Winning Group. But we're going to see Finport and Smeg and Honda Marine with exactly the same decision-making process. Winning Group, it turns out, are taking the left-hand one. They didn't take our advice, Jimmy, did they? Not for the first time.
Oh, well, even if they go around, just tack and flop over, which is what Honda did in that first race.
It could work.
Just get to that higher line, you might be able to get over the lighthouse on Bradley's.
Yeah, it could work. It could work.
Finport over stood on the leeward edge of the right-hand mark.
And there's Honda Marine coming in fast into these two boats ahead. Finport, pretty conservative drop in the end, wasn't it? Slow drop, conservative drop. The other two boats are right into them hard. And Smeg will go around on their transom. Honda Marine will be no more than a boat length behind. So everyone's going to have a real chance to see where the boat speed's at.
Honda Marine's jibe too early.
Yeah, a little let down and a drop. I think they'll be all right with that. There they go. Look how close that is. Winning Group did tack, as Jimmy predicted, having gone around the left-hand mark. So they're on starboard, heading towards Bradley's. And then it's Finport, Smeg, and Honda Marine in second, third, and fourth. Tech 2, you're watching Tech 2 out of the left. You can't quite see them. Out of the left of the picture is Tech 2. You'll take my word for it. And there's Shaw and Partners chasing Smeg hard. In the end, it didn't end up too badly for Shaw and Partners. They are a boat behind Smeg, but in distance, they're in the same postcode. There they go, round, and that's Noakes Red you're seeing. We're just inside, actually not inside, just crossing them on port is SeaTech and Royal Oak, and coming in fast on the port ley line. You're going to see out of the right side of your shot in a second, Maersk Line approaching fast, URM, And Appliances online. And Maersk, plenty of pace coming in here. I think they're going to drive drop as well. Yep, there they go. Or maybe just a drop. Yeah, it's just a drop and a head up. That's Sean Langman on Noakes Red, just taking the right-hand mark, looking downwind. Appliances online, get their drive, trying to find the right ley line all the way in here.
So out of all that, Mark, Tech 2 was the tidiest.
Yeah, Tech 2 doing what Winning Group did, took the left-hand mark, just less traffic, a little bit upwind. It is slightly advantage mark in terms of sheer distance, upwind, downwind. That's the one you'd probably take if you could, but it is in slightly lighter air. But I think net, probably the right one to take as long as you tack quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like we're probably, 100 metres off that rounding mark for the left. We're back in the pressure where we are on the camera cat. So, yeah, I think it's slight advantage, well, definitely a good advantage, and yeah, it's good to see the boys picked it.
And it could shake things up a little. We know the battles between Smeg and Shaw and partners, but Tech 2 we think are just 3 points behind them. I'm not sure if David Witt, you're watching us from Subic Bay in the Philippines. I know you have been before. I'm sure you'll be doing the maths on your Tech 2 team. Maybe you can quickly flick that one through to our YouTube channel. We might be able to pick that up and see how the scores are working out. That Winning Group lead into Bradley's. You're looking at Tech 2, who are probably in about fourth, but it won't be a lot between them and Honda Marine. But Tech 2 look like they have overtaken Sean Partners. And Finn Porter in second, Smeg in third. Looks like Honda or Tech 2 in fourth, and then Sean Partners in fifth. Noakes Red are in sixth. C-Tech, Alex Failing's having another good race. He's come onto a bit of form these last couple of days. And then Royal Oak.
Well, he's probably one of the guys from New Zealand that had the least amount of training because of how busy he's been with everything that he's been developing for, working with the cup teams and so forth for bits and pieces from C-Tech. So, and I had a chat with him a few times late at night ordering parts, and he's still at the office at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, Alex is. So.
Oh, well, the lot of the small to medium-sized business, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Particularly, in New Zealand.
So Winning Group just off the bow of Tech 2, off to the right of the bow, that dark shape, that is Winning Group on port. Coming out of Bradley's, Finport have tacked as well. They are clear in second. Smeg will be tacking soon, and they, I think, are going to be clear in third. And then it's going to be a little Tech 2 Honda Marine shootout. I think it's advantage to Tech 2 at the moment. I think Tech 2 might have moved right up to fourth. Choosing the right mark downwind and tacking quickly, getting into the right mode. And as we heard on interview before, Tech 2's setup is identical to Honda Marine, give or take the odd piece of lashing line. It's the same mast, it's the same mould from north. And when they dial it in, that's a reason why Tech 2 have won a lot of the races coming into the series in Australia. At least Tech 2 have been consistently quick. Just not quite had the series go their way for one reason or another. But showing a bit of form today. So Honda Marine get the tack in on port, coming out of Bradley's, and now Tech 2 and Honda, an intriguing little battle.
Bow to bow.
That is about, look at that, the angle isn't changing. It's changing now just to Honda Marine's advantage, but not much. It's not enough to cross. No. I think they're slowing down, doing the slow down duck maneuver, I think. Look at that, nicely executed by Honda Marine. Didn't want to tack back, didn't want to do a fast duck, so that's the other option you've got, of course, in a high-speed boat like this. Slow down. If you can keep your boat control, slow down and just do a little duck. Nicely done.
What a masterclass move, though. Like, just how easy they perform these manoeuvres, it's just awesome to watch.
Yeah. How much practice, Jimmy, does it take to do it as well as that?
Oh, quite a fair bit, Mark. It's
more than we've ever done.
Yeah, there's a lot of the manoeuvres you watch the guys on Honda especially do. You just go, wow, like that is polished how good it is.
Yeah, that was pretty classy by Honda Marine. Nice
Mark,
work from them.
I've got to tell you this, it's not that easy to do in these boats. To slow them down, keep the mast absolutely upright, squeeze enough speed off that you give back a half a boat length.
Yeah, I mean, I think the series is already won and decided, and we're looking at other battles on the race course, but, if you want a highlights video, I'd be putting that little piece of sailing into the highlights package for sure. Great job by Honda, great skills from our world champions in 2020.
And with the split screen there.
Look at that. We've got the two boats. A little, but not quite close enough to get them captured in one shot. So we're going fancy pants split screen. We've got the two-shot version. And there's Winning Group with a little bit more windward heel. Maybe they've been watching their friends in Honda Marine. And Finport, Keegan York setting up for attack, but just going with the straight upright technique.
I'll tell you what, Finport is not too far behind winning now.
No, they're not slow, are they? It's for sure. They're coming up in this sort of their favourite conditions almost, I think. Middle of a big rig.
Yep.
Looking good.
Yep.
Keegan York, of course, is a pretty decent moth sailor. I don't know where he came in the moth worlds, but I think he might have been in the top 20, if not just outside. He's just sold his moth, and he's got one of the new beaker moths on order in May, so he'll be doing a bit of moth sailing, and there's no doubt that good moth sailors tend to make better 18-foot skiff sailors, if you know what I mean. The skills are very transferable.
But Smeg crosses.
Look at that. Smeg definitely making good forward progress. Has been all race yet again. A bit of a slightly off the pace start. Not a terrible start by any means, but not the best. Not winning the start. And they've got the speed, though, once they get in open water. So
well, I think once they're fully stretched, they're pretty fast, Jimmy, yeah?
Yeah, they are, but just back to CTEC, boys. With Alex, he lives in his office. There you go. That's why he's always in the office. And another reason why he isn't training a hell of a lot is one of his crew live right here in Sydney.
Oh, okay.
So just to clear that up, I knew there was something I had written or had in my files somewhere. But yeah, like Alex, out of all of them, he's got the biggest hurdle.
So how about this, boys and girls? Winning group tacking on Honda Marine's air. Who would have thought?
Yeah, I thought we saw in the first beat, wasn't it? It seemed a bit unnecessary, but I don't think Honda Marine really cared too much. They somehow or other seem to have got themselves up to something that looks like it could be second or third.
Yeah.
Smeg, I think, possibly have got second at the moment, but this is a really interesting boat race. Tech 2 doing enough to join this little boat fight, which is good work. Yeah. The one boat that's getting a little bit dropped off, though, is Shaw and Partners. Shaw and Partners have taken the right-hand side of this beat. For anyone who's following that Smeg, Shaw and Partners, Tech 2 battle, Shaw and Partners have gone hard right, rolling the dice. Smeg taking the usually preferred left-hand side, but they could not be further apart at this point, halfway up this beat.
So, and the breeze actually softening as well, Mark, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit less. Very flat water, isn't it? It's gone flatter, if anything.
Yeah. Well, this fishing boat has copped it all day, these boys.
Current is still picking up. We're probably about a maximum flood tide now, and that flattens the water and lowers the apparent wind speed, and that's a bit what we're seeing, I think.
So winning group at the top of your split screen are just about 50 to 100 metres just ahead and up to windward of Honda Marine, so they lead. Smeg just got a fairly marginal cross coming up with Finport, but they are clear across by probably half a boat length, maybe not even. A little bit of a tiller waggle from Finport just to remind Mika that was extremely close. Mika just managing to get across Honda as well. So it's basically bow to bow between Smeg, Finport and Honda Marine. There's nothing between them. And remember, Jack McCartney on Tech 2 just tacked out of this corner. He was about 2 boat lengths back and out on the hard right. We won't even bother trying to show you where they are. They're that far away. Shaw and Partners are right off Nielsen Beach. We're just short of the beach, but right off the rocks, taking the full opposite side. And at some point, they're going to come together. We suspect the left-hand group will be in better shape, but we'll wait and see. Finport getting their tack in off the hard left, off the rocks.
But they're not going to cross Honda, or are they?
No, definitely not. It's a duck.
Wow. So Honda have been enjoying this on the ley line, nearly out of the current, in good pressure. The best pressure on the track now is at this headland here.
Yeah, they're giving a bit of a hurry up to these paddleboarders ahead who are looking round and going, hang on, is that social distancing? You look a bit too close. No, they're more than 1.5 metres apart. That's fine.
Banjo's moment.
So Honda have adjusted their setup. They're set up deeper than they were the first beat. Have a look at the head stage, Jimmy. She's got some sag, and they got the jib luff off as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gone into a bit more of a turbo mode. So you can see winning group to the left of your shot. Honda Marine, of course, in the middle. And far off into the distance on the far right is still Shaw and Partners. They're not looking that great. I get to see they have tacked onto starboard. They're a little too far away for us to show you clearly on camera. We'll wait till they get closer. Hard right, Shaw and Partners and CTEC as well, also giving that a bit of a nudge.
Nice, Jimmy.
And we're just going to wind our way between a few boats just behind where you're watching. That was Honda Marine, and Tech 2 had just taken the transom of Honda Marine by a couple of boat lengths. So the distance between Tech 2 and the rest of the pack, no more than a couple of boat lengths. Nothing between Smeg, Finport, Honda Marine and Tech 2. You could throw a small tablecloth across the three of those And then out to the right, we're waiting to see what's happened to Shaw & Partners' dice roll and whether C-Tech, who follow them as well, whether anything's come good from them. This is, of course, the second beat, the final beat of the last race of our race series here in Sydney. Just a couple more tacks to come, and then it's one run back down to the finish. Series over.
Large green thing coming to join the action again.
Well, I'm just making sure I get across it, that's all.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a little bit too lured of our leading pack, so hopefully he won't have too much to do with them, but he might get involved in the mid-fleet battle. We'll see how that pans out, but we're just going to get ourselves away from a large ferry travelling at 15 or knots or so, out of his way. Up at the top mark, untroubled by traffic. Winning group getting close to the top mark. You'll just giving you a little look from the windward side from our drone. There you go, there's the second overall boat this year. This team who came together relatively at the last minute. Of course, two of them are the regular winning group crew, Sevi and Sam Newton, but John Winning unavailable due to the issues around the world, taking time to be with his business, and that meant Scott Babbage stepped into the middle. That crew going very well.
Horn action for Tech 2.
That'll be the ferry telling a few boats that you're closer than I want you to be, lads. And Tech 2 managing to just get across, and Shaw & Partners also getting a little bit close as well. And all the boats trying to keep clear of the ferry, but trying to keep racing. And Tech 2 having to, on the windward side, maybe doing a little bit of a slowdown as well. But I think the horn, was for the benefit of Shaw & Partners. Hard to say.
Might have been. Yeah, it might have been.
Might have been. We'll wait and see. Anyway, everybody's lived to tell the tale. The ferry will get there on time. The skiffs are all in one piece. And up at the top mark for the last time in race number 9, it is Winning Group, our clear leader. Should be simple for them to get down to the bottom mark. In second place, Honda Marine have yet again sniggled their way from, what were they, 4th or 5th at the bottom mark? I think it might have been 5th. And they've chosen the right lanes. Nothing radical in their course selection, but a little bit of boat speed to spare. And yet again, the 1-2 is looking like it's going to be Winning Group and Honda Marine, the top two boats with some to spare over the rest of the fleet. In second place are already crowned champions, Honda Marine. Great performance from them, yet again showing exactly why they are already the champions. So it's the third place, Smeg. Good job by them, Bucko. They've just looked competitive today, haven't they? And they're doing what they have to do to try and lock up third place overall.
Well, like we sort of say, any time that they've got the boys fully stretched, they're pretty good. They struggle a bit as soon as it gets down range, but they have been, you know, for a boat whose starts have been, shall we say, not the best. It's a pretty good result.
Yeah. So, I mean, the first two have kind of basically gone away, slightly separate division. So the best of the rest is no bad place to be. I think if Smeg can hold on to third, and that is a very provisional statement, but they have several. They're 3, 4, 5, 4 places ahead of Shaw & Partners. Pretty sure they're going to get third. Mick will be happy with that. Jimmy, he'll be happy, won't he? Doro, a bit dark probably. Doro wanted that third place overall, didn't he? I don't think it's going to happen for him today.
Yeah, it's one of those things for Doz. He either shines or falls, but yeah, Mick will be smiling. Yeah, either which way, I'm sure they'll have a beer, have a cheers with each other tonight and have a talk about it at 1.5 metre distance.
Yeah. But the Smeg, you know, if you look at the outfit, they're three pretty calm fellas.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that sort of almost emanates from the boat on the water, doesn't it, Mark? It's like...
Totally.
You know, they obey the rules, they don't press their luck too hard. Their error rate's been quite low. If they could start better, they'd be, you know...
Yeah, I'd say the crew, you'd vote them the crew least likely to lose their heads, possibly equal Honda Marine.
That's right.
They're almost in a different calmness. Yeah. They just get on and let the sailing does what it has to do, and they just don't worry about everybody else. In a way that is, you know, quite admirable, I have to say. It's very easy in sailing to get a little bit too heated in the moment and make some poor judgments, and we've seen a bit of that out here on the harbour because it happens. And one or two boats, Smeg, Honda Marine, consistently just don't let all the stuff around the outside get in their way.
And just have a look through Smeg here. Honda on port jibe, still trying to win the race.
Yeah, they wouldn't mind nipping this off Winning Group, who I think are going to try and defend pretty damn hard, I suspect. So that was Smeg getting the jibe in. Finport crossed behind them, then Tech 2 Shore and Partners, who are running that ASCO spinnaker because of the damage that Jimmy reminded us about. Well, it wasn't damage, it was an obliteration of a
Completely ripped
spinnaker,
in
wasn't
half.
it? Nothing left. So
Yeah,
they're
which
running
I spoke to Timmy, the forward hand off it, and he goes, we didn't understand when, because the race committee yelled out to him, or yelled out to one of the other boats going, can you go over and ask Shore and Partners, do they want another spinnaker? And Steve quickly went over in the ribbon and said, do you guys want to change your spinnaker out? And they all went, what for? Didn't know. So they didn't obviously see the tear.
Yeah, it's a shame, but in the end, it gave them one very bad result. It was a 23, wasn't it? I think, which they, of course, discard, but it put the pressure on them for the rest of the series because they couldn't afford to get anything else wrong. And certainly in today's race, in this race right now, this race number 9 between Smeg and Shore and Partners and Tech 2, it is all about Smeg keeping their heads cool, doing enough, and they've got to place at least one boat between themselves and Shore and Partners, and maybe there'll be more than that. A little more breeze, Bucko. Are we getting a little bit of a nice little gift on this last downwind, a bit of extra pressure?
Yeah, it has come back up to about 2 knots.
Yeah, just enough that everybody's having a decent blast downwind. Honda Marine flick into a jibe. They're going to try and find that port ley line as per last time, and you'd expect winning group, yep, there they go, are going to put the cover in. Sevy's got no interest in losing out in this race to Honda Marine, that's for sure. Yeah, they will jibe and jibe as many times as they have to just to stay in between Honda Marine and the finish. A few ferries coming our way, but they're the fast variety, the multi-hull ones that do 23 knots, so they have got a better VMG than these skiffs. So I don't think the ferries, even there's 2 of them running down here. You don't often see that, do you, Jimmy? You're out in the harbour a lot. I don't often see 2 cats having it looks like a race. Who's going to win? Who's on the ley line there?
One leaves from Wharf 3 and one leaves from Wharf 2 at Manly, and you often do see them.
There's your shot. Look, it's coming at the top of your picture.
Have a drag race out of Manly, that's for sure, but they'll be through pretty quickly.
2 Manly ferries side by side, both fast as you like. Not quite sure who ran the scheduling today, but anyway.
They run on a drop and run schedule.
No, they're on different routes as well, possibly. No, Mark. There's one that does go to the eastern shore at Manly to Quarantine Station.
Anyway, winning group keeping out of the way of that fast-moving aluminium traffic. And they jibe not on lay. There's a bit more work to do. I doubt they're going to get this here in 1.
Yeah, a bit of rotation. Going to be another jibe.
And winning, Honda Marine have just jibed directly behind him on the same line, so not much is going to change there. And then the rest of the new Smeg are on the similar line to Honda Marine. Tech 2 are on opposite sides, on opposite jibe, trying to make something happen, giving themselves a little bit of leverage. And Shore and Partners are in the hard right as you look downwind. So we'll see if anything changes between those 2. Finport just crossed behind Smeg. So there's still the 1, 2, 3, 4 is winning group, Honda Marine, Smeg, Finport, but maybe Tech 2 gone the other way down the run, looking pretty decent. I've got a feeling Tech 2 might have got ahead of Finport and might have even got ahead of Smeg here. I think they have. Great job by Tech 2 on Smeg.
Yeah, he's not going to jibe though. Interesting.
Fantastic little battle. That's the battle for the places, the 3rd overall. We know who's 1 and 2, but we don't know who's going to be 3rd overall. And Tech 2 managed to get across Smeg with Shore and Partners at least a couple of boats back. So it's pretty clear that the 3rd is looking like it's going to go to Smeg.
But Tech 2's gone past the ley line now.
Yeah, they're really going their own way, aren't they? Back up the front, we're getting very close to the finish of the last race. And winning group still lead, comfortably cruising down here, along with Honda Marine. And the battle behind, it's going to go all the way to the end between Smeg and Tech 2, Finport and Shore and Partners will be down on the finish line. We'll make sure you get all of that action. You won't miss a bit of it. We're trying to cover a lot of boats that are a long way apart. Always a bit of a directorial challenge. But well, hopefully the drone will come to our aid here. But for now, we are down at the finish. We've got winning group getting close. One more jibe before they cross the line in race 9 at the end of this series.
Yeah.
Interesting to see what happens. Well, next year, of course, we assume that John Herman will be back racing this boat. Assuming that all things stay the same, this will just be a little one event hiatus for Scott Babbage, but I think he's enjoyed himself.
Winning grip a bit short on the jibe angle there. Maybe not.
A little bit lighter down here as well, isn't it? Just a little less pressure.
Against the headland here, pretty standard problem.
And they will finally get inside the finish line. They approach the finish now. All the boats behind them going very, very light indeed. Smeg getting caught a little bit high behind them. We'll get to them in a second, but crossing the line in first place, in second overall in the championship, winner of another race. The dominant boat in second, if you can be dominant in second, but they clearly have been bested by Honda, but they have been clearly the best of the rest with a margin to spare. Great job by Winning Group. Congratulations, lads. It'll be a good performance. Be happy with that. And in second place overall, our champions, Honda Marine, just keeping everybody on their toes right all the way to the finish. And next in, look at this battle here. What's going to happen here? It looks like Tech 2 are going to get into third. And Finport and Smeg look like they've... Well, I think they'll be all right, actually, when they Tech 2 are going to run in third. Yeah, Smeg are down on that ley line, which is going to be good because that's where the pressure is. They're going to just get hit fourth ahead of Finport. Look how close this is. Bottom of your picture, there's Smeg. Top of your picture is Finport. Yeah, it goes to Smeg.
Yep.
And then it's Finport and Shaw and Partners. Not been the run they wanted here. Jimmy, look, they're going to get beaten by Noakes Red as well. They rolled the dice a bit, didn't they?
They're on starboard, they'll be right.
Didn't quite work.
Be all right.
Yeah, they've crossed Noakes Red. But they've lost a couple of spots to Smeg. And we think, with our very amateur arithmetic, but we think that's enough for Smeg to take the third overall. So confirmed the winner is of the series is, as you know, Honda Marine. Second is Winning Group. And we are pretty sure Smeg take the third overall. And I think it is just enough for Shaw and Partners to come fourth. And we think Tech 2 will have got fifth. In this particular race, the next boat to finish was Noakes Red. And then it is SeaTech, the second New Zealand boat. And behind them is the third New Zealand boat, Maersk Line. Pretty competitive day for the Maersk Line lads today. They've been there or thereabouts in both races. And we'll
Boys, I'm standing here with the winners of the third JJ Giltinan in a row, Team Honda Marine, all the way from New Zealand. How does it feel?
Yeah, pretty good. It feels better and better every year. Getting used to it.
And boys, 3 in a row. Do you think that gives you the rights now to bring this thing back to New Zealand? I know back at the Royal Akarana Yacht Club, Howie Spencer, Anatole Massif and a few other people have really tidied up that place. We had the 49er Worlds there a little while back. It's a great venue. Would you like to see it back home in your home waters?
Oh, absolutely. I think we've put our best foot forward that we could possibly do. We've got another regatta in New Zealand that we want coming up next year in 2021 called the America's Cup, which we want to align the two regattas together.
Don't know if I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's just this other sailing event.
Not as important as the JJ Giltinan Trophy.
Mate, JJ is so important, we have to race no matter what's going on. Last regatta in the world's still happening.
There we go. You never know. There might not ever be another sailing event. Brad, big week on the bow. You guys have sailed amazingly well, mate. How does it feel?
It's awesome. Yeah, amazing. So good. Gutted my mum and dad can't be here, but obviously with the virus and stuff that's going on, it's best that they're at home. And so thanks to them, and yeah, we'll be home soon. After 2 weeks quarantine, I might see you.
2 weeks of fishing coming up, Matty?
Yeah, we're going to go out fishing on the cruising boat. Not allowed home, so yeah.
Well, we'll get Steve Quigley here from the Yacht Club. He's going to hand you guys the traditional blue ribbon. Interesting concept we've got this year. There we go, bit of spreading of it. We'll get that up the top of the mast. Well done, boys. Good shit. That's all right.
Just tell them it's the ultimate test, Troy, that they get it up without it getting wrapped around the masthead.
Yep, well, they're going to give it a good crack now. Boys, we might see if we can get some other reactions. Might try and head in and grab Smeg in third position, since we've had a good chat with second place Winning Group. So we'll just turn around here. You guys can follow us down.
Got to be pointing it.
Too far away, Jim?
There you go. Honda Marine has got the ribbon all the way to the top of the mast. No hassles.
Amazing.
All right.
You'd think it was an easy job, but it's a hard job.
Yeah. That's why you leave it for the foreign ends, Bucko.
Yeah.
Well done, boys.
Thanks, Joe. Didn't quite go to plan, but we did enough.
You did enough. Third position.
Third.
Ricky. Good.
Yeah, mate, it was great, mate. Yeah, just it was good. The boys sailed so well today, and it was just good to hold Doro off and not let Jack get too far in front of us. So.
And you really didn't get the starts right all week, Mika. Even in that last
every single one, just shockers. But the last one was our best.
You think maybe? I mean, you got third position. You never know where you would have ended up in this regatta had you got it off on the line at the start. You know.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we'll never know. First to the red boats. First to the normal people. Best of the rest.
Best of the rest, mate. Well, well done, boys. Good sailing today. And third position, Smeg. Technology with style.
That's right. And good to see, isn't it, Troy? You know, Mika, such a nice presence in the park. Ricky Bridge been around forever. And Big Pete Harris enjoying a second childhood, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and Pete says every year he's never going to come back. He tells his wife that. Beanie, and you know, here he is on the bow swinging it down. Lots of spectators here, everyone just keeping out here, giving Honda Marine the respect that they deserve.
Exactly.
The old traditions.
Just on screen on the right hand side now, guys, viewers, the lovely restored 8 metre with my mate Harold Cudmore on board, owned by Nicole Shrimpton. Fantastic, restored by the Beechel boat building troops.
We might try and head down towards the Tech 2. Maybe try and get a little comment from them, boys.
So, Mark, I think the wrap-up could be the same as last year's. The Australians need to practice more.
Yeah, it's a conversation that has been happening with a few people on the periphery of the fleet, which is how come the Kiwis come with such a small number of boats, but and don't do as much racing and don't have as many regular regattas, and yet somehow they are winning with quite a lot to spare, if we're honest. And if it comes down to practice, and it comes down to having the chance and the time and the application to get the speed right. I don't think there's any, like in yacht racing, there's no mystery. Doing well, there's not a mystery.
No mystery. But we did know that they've been whittling with the same ingredients on the same piece of wood for about 5 or 6 years. So that's way more than any Australian team that's here.
All right, boys, just bear away a little bit. Here we go. Jack McCartney. Jacko, what do you think, mate? 5th position?
Yeah, it's all right. You know, we had a better day today and started to feel like we were getting back into the swing of things, so we're happy enough. You know, we had 2 bad days and that set the tone for us, unfortunately. But, yeah.
You definitely got better as the week goes on, and those 3 red boats seem to be a bit of a magnet.
Yeah, we had a good battle today. It was good fun. There's Big George in the bow of Smeg. Doesn't like my man bun, so I put it in today on purpose so that I could get him in both races, and I did it.
Well, there you go.
We won the battle today.
Bit of mind games there. Good work, Jacko. Nice work, boys. Charlie Gundy, Trev Barnabas there. Good week for finishing in a better place than where they started off. Good on you, boys. And you can see the rest of them here, just asymmetric sails up, sailing in amongst the moored boats. They're going to have to watch out they don't do what Tommy Anderson and Birkenhead Point did the other day and hook up with one, but beautiful afternoon out here to finish it off. And we'll let it go back to you guys. Thank you for the week.
Troy, look, it's been terrific, and thanks to Noddy and Christoph on your rib, and it's great to have the skill of the nod to get you into those tight corners, isn't it? Thanks, you guys. So, Marco, I think that's about it, isn't it?
Yeah, we're just going to take a look at the fleet. It's our last chance to look at Sydney Harbour and 80-foot skiffs. As we know, due to these It's a terrible situation that we are all in globally, one global family. There may not be many more sailing regattas, as we've said. It's just true for a while. That doesn't mean there'll never be them. There may not be that many big ones, maybe little regattas here and there, a few boats, who knows what will happen, we're not quite sure. But we've had a regatta here, we've completed 9 races, we've had some top skiff action. It's a little bit odd not having the spectator ferry out at the end. This is when traditionally the boat tries to get alongside the spectator ferry. There's all a bit of drama and they get the blue ribbon, and it's against the backdrop of hundreds and hundreds of people cheering wildly on a spectator ferry, but for obvious reasons we can't do that. But that doesn't take anything away from the victory of Honda Marine. It'll still feel pretty special for them. Their 3rd win in a row. They've done a great job yet again, pretty dominant. It was close with winning group on the points, certainly up until the first race of today, but they won this championship with a whole race to spare. That is never, never easy to do. We're getting a little bit of trying to get a smile off the Honda Marine guys. Oh, we'll try and get that picture sorted in a second. It's gone a bit blurry, we're so close to them. But the story of the regatta has been, yet again, fantastic performance from these experts on Honda Marine. Great job by the slight makeshift crew of winning group. And in the end, Smeg doing what they had to do in the very last race, pretty much on the very last run, to lock themselves into 3rd place. That is your top 3. For all the people on the camera cat, our technical team, the great drone skills of Jono, Pierce on the Ronin, Michael Chittenden, our director, and keeping us safe but in amongst the action, Jimmy Berry, thank you for looking after the camera cat.
By the narrowest of margins.
Well, that's the way that Jimmy likes it. That's the way it should be. Narrow is good.
Haven't hit a boat in 2 years. So there you go.
That's
as the old killer used to say.
Yep,
if you don't hit them, you're not getting close enough.
Let's hope it stays that way. And Andrew Buckland, thank you for being with us all week and yet again sharing all your insights with us. It's been a lot of fun.
It's been a terrific week, hasn't it?
It has been a lot of fun on what's been this really weird situation that we're all in, but hopefully we've made the most of it. The skiff sailors have done a great job. The club has, I think, played a blinder. Race committee, nice work from you as well. From all of you at home, whether you are a live audience or our recorded audience, this is the JJ that we'll mostly remember for all the wrong reasons, but a couple of the right reasons, the performance of Honda Marine, and I think the performance of the fleet in total, we'll remember that as a positive. So from all of us on the Camera Cat and from the 18-foot Skiff Club in Double Bay and Sydney Harbour in March 2020, hopefully we'll see you next year. Wherever you are, look after yourselves, be kind to each other and keep safe. Good day from Sydney Harbour.